Hey, let's go to JPChivalry going live with Umineko, When They Cry, episode 6. I think we're okay. I think everything's good. Let's send out the tweet. Still haven't fixed BTV or FFC, it's fine. We get new emotes on Monday, so that's cool. But yeah, I was testing out Biped and what was the other one? Everhood before the streams, before this session started. So it looks like we're good to go. I'm definitely excited for Everhood and Biped as well. Seems like a fun co-op adventure. I'm like checking for things. Is the death counter working? It is. Okay, cool. Let's go ahead and start the streamer mode. The game. And the Umineko. Cool. So yeah, last time on Umineko, the deaths, they have started. The people are dying. It's very sad. George killed Ava. Jessica killed Kyrie. And now we're trying to figure out who's gonna die next. What's gonna happen? Let's see. Check something on the laptop. Please? There we go. So I guess I'm gonna guess it's Beato next. Probably. For the murder. She's gonna kill someone. Maybe. But she's so pure though. But I don't know. Rosa could be seen in the parlor. Relatives apparently all want to be alone after dispersing for a short break. Since everyone avoided the parlor, the one place where people would normally gather, Rosa was able to have this relaxing and comforting room all to herself. That didn't mean she looked relaxed. Her expression was heavy with gloom and weariness. The cup of black tea that she had brought from the dining hall had gone cold. Pleasant silence. Now that no one was in sight, Rosa's heart finally awoke. She was always treated like a kid in the conferences with her 3 siblings. She had no influence at all. Possibly because of that, she was apparently considered to be a neutral party. The siblings would often ask her for her agreement, sometimes even treating her like a referee or a judge. I have to make use of that and turn the discussion in the direction I want. I have to find almost 100 million yen by March. That was supposed to be my great commitment, a burden I bore to help support that man's business. Oh. That's why she wants the money. No, I'm not sure anymore. If I can pay off my debt, will he call me again? Don't make me laugh. If you do contact me after all this time, I'll be the one to refuse. But still, you're Maria's father. Please come and see her. Oh, okay. Only just once. So that guy is Maria's father. Love is quite a difficult thing to stick to, isn't it? Huh? Who? Though no one should have been in the parlor, someone suddenly spoke to Rosa and she jumped. Oh? No, come on. Just when did he get there? Cannon could be seen standing there. Even considering that she had been deep in thought, to think that she hadn't noticed him at all. You startled me. Sorry, I guess I was thinking so hard that I didn't notice you. Do you need something? No. The reason you are currently in pain is because of love, Rosa-sama. Am I wrong? That's sudden. I'm not sure what you're talking about. Maria-sama's father wanted you to be the co-signer on the loan, and you accepted, Rosa-sama. What a troublesome kid. You were listening to Kraus Nissan from the hallway, weren't you? True, earlier this day, in this very room, Kraus had seen through to the fact that Rosa was bearing a massive debt because she'd become a co-signer on a loan. However, he hadn't said that her partner had been Maria's father. Why did Cannon know so much? You're a very wise person, Rosa-sama. You wouldn't have become a co-signer without thinking carefully about the consequences. I hadn't yet moved to his family register, but thought of the man I would soon marry as my partner. he couldn't borrow the money without my name, I figured that helping him out was my responsibility as his future wife. Did that future ever come? No, it hadn't. So afterwards, Rosa was always alone, and Maria never had a father. However, time moved on. Nothing changed except that Maria, who should have been a symbol of their union, just kept growing like a living hourglass, measuring the length of the hell Rosa had crawled through. Because of that, Maria's growth hurt. It's ironic. I tried to forget that man several times, but you know, forgetting him doesn't get rid of that debt. It was only natural. That's why she had to forget her love and do all she could to pay that money back. But you know, I also think of it this way. If I can manage to pay everything off, it'll mean that I've passed the trial of love that he gave me. I'll have to pay off my debt anyway, so how can I abandon my reward, the love I'll gain as a result, before it's over? Is it really so wrong to put off thinking about that until after I've paid my debts? Hello JP, hey Nara, how's it going? Let me check something. Okay, we're good. How's it going, Nara? How was work? Good, just got home from work. Gotcha. How are you? I'm doing well. I slept a little bit more, but I'm fine. Work was okay? Very busy. Did you have to close today? Or... Wait, did I read? No, stop that thought. It may have been a trick of words that only those who have suffered through love could understand. Even Rosa was vaguely aware of the possibility that she'd been deceived. Yeah, I closed. Gotcha. Well, at least you got to hang with your favorites, right? Hey, I'm doing well. I'm excited for Everhood, which will be the next game after we finish Umineko. However, if she was able to succeed in paying back the loan, he might acknowledge her usefulness as a wife. When that happened, she might be able to regain that love. And if she abandoned that love, this debt, this trial that he had given her, would become completely meaningless. Yes, for her, the debt itself appeared to be a trial of love. Actually, the very fact that she tried to view it that way might have been the blindness of love. Proof that she was still bound by her regrets and obsessed with the past. Everwood? Is it Everhood or Everhood? I think it's Everhood. It's a game on Steam. It just came out, I think, in March 4th. And it's kind of similar to Undertale, like style. But it's a rhythm game, I guess. Let's see. Everhood. I saw it on Steam's like new and trending, and then I think this other streamer that I follow, well, not follow, but keep tabs on, is he recently played it and he recommended it. Misheard because I'm stuffing my face with food. Why, of course I have pizza. Hey Zyko, how's it going? But yeah, that's Everhood. What are you eating, Nara? More ramen? But yeah, I want to check it. You know, I see. I want to play it. So I'll probably do the next one after Umineko's done. You got soup and imitation crab. Oof. Yeah, I had a fried shrimp today. It's not bad. I found out I don't like hush puppies as much. Not a fan. Just something about the taste. Proof that she'll still bound by her regrets and obsessed with the past. That pain still continued within her. At the very least, it would remain until she paid back that massive loan. And even then, it would take quite some time before she'd be able to lay her feelings for him to rest. What are hush puppies? It's like a fried thing? It's not potatoes, I don't think. It's like bread, right? Fried dough food. You usually get it at like fish places over here. Deep fried southern hush puppies. Deep fried round ball made from cornmeal based batter. Frequently served as a side dish with seafood and other deep fried foods. Yeah, it's not bad. That's what that is. Fried thing sounds good. They're generally for me, yes, but for whatever reason, this doesn't do it for me. That's fine. So let me check the impossible counter. Is it updating? 1, 2, 3. Okay, it is. Cool. You don't think you've ever had hush puppies? Maybe like, if you like fried things, then maybe. But it's not for me. It's such a southern thing, is it? Is that why? Could this be that hell Kirei-sama spoke of? The pain still continued within her. At the very least, it would remain until she paid back the massive loan. Even then, it would take quite some time before she'd be able to leave feelings for him to rest. Could this be that hell Kirei-sama spoke of? I see. Not sure what you're talking about. There's no doubt that my world has been hell through and through. And how can that be put to an end? Who knows? If anyone did, no one would ever be crushed by the disease of love. Anyone dead? Ava and Kirie. But I don't know if they're dead or if it's like a metaphorical thing. I'm sure they're dead. I'm pretty sure they're dead. And it looks like Rosa's gonna be the next victim, because it's the lovers that are killing. So George, Shannon, Ken and Jessica, and Beato and I guess Battler, but Battler is not really participating, but we'll see. George roundhouse kicked Ava to death, and Jessica did an overlord where she augmented her fists to be super strong, and she caused the room that Kirie was in to be engulfed in fire. So Kirie burned to death. Who knows? If anyone did, no one would ever be crushed by the disease of love. Poor Kirie, yeah. She had a badass moment, but them's the ropes. A disease is a serious one. Sometimes eats into a person for their entire life, spreading to and hurting the people closest to them. That disease was torturing her now as much as it ever had. Now is Rosa gonna get a badass moment, though? Well, since you bring up Kirie-san, her story is like a wish or a dream to me. Though she had her man stolen from her, she preserved for 18 years. She never failed to despair, instead continued to support Rudolph, keeping her head down and waiting for a miracle. Maria is still 9 years old. I've only waited as long as the first half of Kirie's 18 years. If I gave up after just this, she would laugh at me. Do you think a miracle will occur within 9 years? If I doubt that, it's all over. In a sense, I'm a ghost. I'm already dead. I'm just living on without noticing. A ghost waiting for eternity for a person who will never come. That's right. That day, when I naively said that I wanted to support his dream, I was probably already dead. Guess that really was a regretful day, in the end. I have dreams. I want to go overseas. I'll fly out of this tiny country, make it big, and come back to you. That takes me back. At that time, I thought of lovers as a pair of people willing to acknowledge each other's radical dreams. That's why he would always happily cheer me up by talking about how I'd become a successful designer, traveling to Paris to release a new line and getting jostled by the press. When I think about it, I really had my head in the clouds during that strange time. We both lifted the other up as though we were drifting about in the air. So when he said that he wanted to get out of Japan, I applauded him and promised to support him. Acknowledging each other's great dreams with nothing but words is a classic sort of pillow talk between lovers. However, when it comes to actually carrying them out, you need to be more serious and calculating. For a long time, I felt proud of letting him go on that day. No, I still do. But you still regret it. That's right. If I had sobbed and told him to stop on that day, I might not have fallen into hell. Seeing him off with a smile was my victory? Of course not. It's as though I lost by default by refusing to fight when the time came. I only glorified that loss, saw him off with a smile as he went to take on the world overseas, and became intoxicated with the illusion that I was some brave woman waiting patiently for her man's return with her daughter. Even though I didn't get a single call from him, and mail sent to the address he'd given me came back forwarding address unknown. Jeez. This is hell. In this hell, I'll regret not fighting when I should have until the day I die. I even dragged my daughter into it. I wish someone would just kill me. I want to be told that I've already been killed, that I'm a ghost. Lucky for you, Rosa, in love. You do not fight. You have to crawl through hell. Yes, love is a fight. Will you win and gain, or lose and die? But please, have no fear of death. After all, it's a peaceful sleep. What's truly terrifying is the hell where you find the unsleeping ghosts of those who couldn't win and yet couldn't die. That hell has no end. The battle of love is cruelest for those who never even fought, but weren't able to die either. So in love, you gotta make it or break it. Dying in battle like that is liberating. They say the most torturous toxin for humans is made from love grown stale. The suffering it brings exceeds the tortures of the most twisted hells. She used this knowledge to try and embolden her double and little sister, encouraging her to take on any trial no matter how fierce. Oh, right, are you gonna play Con Ed or watch it someday? I don't think I'll play it. I should probably play it though, right? But I've never seen it, or I mean I've heard of it, but I've never engaged in it. Do you recommend? Is it worth it? It's probably worth it to play it, right? Rather than watching. I don't know. You've never watched it before? I don't... Maybe down the line? Well, it could be earlier, actually. Because I'm thinking of Syconia. Syconia's not done. But I saw a clip from it that was so funny. It's like a comedy drama, right? I know a lot of people will cry to it or something. It's got sad moments. It's also a visual novel, so it made me think of you. I see. Yeah, it wasn't on my plan to play list. I know there's also Steins Gate, but Steins Gate... I don't know. I don't know if I want to play that. Apparently it's a big brain visual novel, though. But it's a good story. It's possible. It's possible to play it. Because Syconia is going to be a while. And Syconia is the next one in the series for this one. Wonder how many full apples I would have to eat before I got arsenic poisoning. Arsenic poison? Don't do that. Don't eat all those apples. Encouraging her to take on any trial, no matter how fierce. I understand. After all, my desire to have Battler-san accept me one day wells up in my chest. I can feel the seed that resides there. I saw that Doki Doki Literature Club is gonna get something this year. Feed the seeds. It'll speed up the process, is that right? So I might have to play Doki Doki before that comes out. Whatever the next thing is. Because that's something that I do enjoy. After all, my desire to have Battler-san accept me one day wells up in my chest. I can feel the seed that resides there. That's the idea. To fucking use it around the cores. So just everything but the stem. Oh man. It is up to me to kill that seed or make it bud. However, if I let it rot here in my chest, that poison will surely torment me forever. And that is the most fearsome torture in the world, even for us 1,000-year-old witches. See what happens to those who make light of love? This hell of roses? Here's what happens to those who don't possess the courage to make the seed of love the seed of love bud, and instead allow it to rot. One cannot end that pain by their own hands. Oh. Oh, can it just kill her? Huh? Just now, was that a red light? Oh. You missed? Pardon me. Huh? What? Just now, I thought I saw something strange. I wonder if I'm tired. It's probably just my imagination. The arm thing? Yeah. There was. Rosa picked up her cup of cold tea. When she did, she saw a small red rose petal float to the surface. Oh, she's already dead. Rose. Question mark? I've heard that in your youth, you loved to lie on that sofa. It wasn't a rose petal. It was a drop of blood that had fallen from Rose's eyes. In an instant, Kennen had beautifully and precisely cut just a single thread of Rose's life. There was no wound on Rose's body. However, several drops of blood dripped down from her eyes. Her pain, her uncertainties, and her worries were all gone now. Slowly, she fell down onto her side on the sofa. This had been one of the happiest things she had done during the happiest day of her life. Sleep well, Rosa-sama. Your hell has ended. Y'all just missed the dang Sokido pink blood. That was some mucky shit. Just blood pianatas everywhere. Karen took a blanket out of a cupboard and gently covered Rosa with it. To anyone, it would have looked just as though Rosa was sleeping peacefully. I don't miss it. I don't miss Dangon. I miss Dangon 1, 2, and then episode. Ultra Spare Girls. Those demons had not exaggerated when calling this trial a battle of love. It was at least accurate on this cruel but unassailable fact. That those who have their love shattered meet with death. I mean, I do miss Scarfy, I guess. Blasphemy. Now, my part is complete. Did you see that, demons? Oh, wait, what? Damn. Oh shit, Maria. Wait, but Maria's supposed to be in the cousin's room. You dare to kill my mama? Oh. You dare to kill my mama? What? Just salty how your besties died. That's the exact reason. One of the two great witches of Mariage Saucier, Maria, though she was just an apprentice, the power sleeping within her had impressed even Beatrice at the height of her strength. In Maria's eyes, though Rosa may have been the Black Witch, she was also the vessel of the mother she couldn't help but love. Her anger at having that stolen from her was near madness. You dare to? Mama, mama, mama. Yeah. Maria's attack was too emotional. Because of this, she didn't notice that Cannon had vanished her several heartbeats, and she released her barrage at what had become an empty space. In the meantime, Cannon jumped from wall to wall, ran to Maria's back. Huh? I don't want to kill past my quota. But I'll clean up the messes I've made. Oh. Oh, Sakataro? Okay. Who are you? What are you? Diplomatic immunity. I won't let you target Maria or me. Damn. What the fuck is going on, JP? Murder. And great music. The red curved blade extending from Kennen's hand vanished in an instant. He tried to make it reappear. He tried hard to make it reappear, but when he attempted to use it on Maria and Sakataro again, it vanished once more. Because of Sakataro's power, he was unable to make either of them the target of his attacks. Why is Fox Champ here? Because he's a lion, a stuffed lion cub. Oh. Sakataro's power, he's unable to make either of them the target of his attacks. There you are. How long have you been there? Who are you? I won't let anyone bully Maria. Damn it. Maria finally noticed what Kennen was, and she slowly turned around. That answers none of what I asked here today. It's complicated, Psycho. Kennen made his sword materialize yet again. It's just magic. It's a Dengen V3. It's magic. Kennen made his sword materialize yet again, but no matter how often he tried, it kept fading out, like a flashlight with a bad battery. I won't let you get away now. I won't forgive you for the sin of stealing my mama away. I'll kill you! Just like Mama killed all of them. I'll kill you without mercy. Mama kill? Who did Mama kill? I'll kill you without mercy. I mean, I guess Rosa killed Beatrice, but that wasn't really... well, I guess it was her fault. As Maria howled, the entire parlor was surrounded by a cube of red magic barriers. It was a closed room symbolizing a barrier that Kennen could never escape. Damn it! Not here! Kennen cursed his bad luck. Even though he had fulfilled his goal in the Demon's Trial, if he was killed here, he'd be dragged off the game board. The music's so overpowering. Maria, don't overdo it. Yeah, I won't overdo it. I'll be a little more gentle than Mama was. Kuhihihihihi. Ha 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 ha. Ha 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 ha. Oh? Is that Renault? Question mark? Udio, who is it? I guess it's Renault. Oh, it's Shannon. Okay. Pardon me, Maria-sama. In accordance with the contract with Zeppar-sama and Furfur-sama, I come for your life. That makes sense. Just... Shannon, don't get... No. In my way! It's pointless, Shannon. I won't let anyone target Maria. Yes, I don't intend to target her in any way. I will simply protect myself. A cylindrical red magical barrier surrounded Shannon as she stood in the center of the parlor. She made its brightness and thickness grow, and its radius suddenly expanded, filling up the room. It wasn't targeting Maria. This power was being wielded to protect Shannon's body, so Sakataro's power didn't make it disappear. Nei-san, would you let your feelings for my lady collapse in a situation like this? Get a hold of yourself. Udio. Ooh. By now, the shield with Shannon at the center had covered up the entire room. Its power crushed Maria and Sakataro into the corner. Ironically, they were perfectly wedged between Shannon's barrier and the closed room barrier Maria had set up to prevent Kennen from escaping. No good. Can't escape. Cackle cackle. Coo-hee-hee-hee-hee-hee-hee. I see. This is a closed room. Hee-hee-hee-hee-hee-hee-hee. This might be just perfect for that wannabe detective who's trying to deny Beato's magic. Checkmate, Maria-san. Is that acceptable? Yeah, it's fine. Crush me. Hee-hee-hee-hee-hee. Then here it comes. So she'd rather die to be petty to Erica? The entire room is filled with the red light of the shield, and the output and pressure were raised to their limits. Then, crushed between the shield and their own closed room barrier, Maria and Sakataro lost their forms, scattered to a golden splash, and disappeared. Thank you. Couldn't afford to disappear here. If you lost in a place like this, you wouldn't be able to let it go. Yeah. Wouldn't give up if I lost in a place like this. Separ-sama, Furfur-sama, we have both finished our trials. Is that satisfactory? Yeah, truly splendid. No complaints for either of you. And shall we finish with Beatrice's turn? Oh, where did she go? To the victim she's chosen, of course. Then let's go there as well. Who did Beata choose? Natsuhi? Okay. Natsuhi could be seen in her personal room. Cross had told her to go to bed, but she couldn't afford to lie around sleeping on an important day like this. However, she realized that she was the type to get excited easily, and that this sometimes held her husband back. So, though she didn't like it one bit, there was no way around it. It was probably close to the time for the break to end, and the family conference would begin once again in the dining hall. Her husband would have to protect the Ushiromiya family honor from those greedy siblings, all by himself. If she grew emotional by his side, she would just tie him down. Though she knew that quietly waiting here was the best way she could support him, that didn't make the waiting any easier. Natsuhi pulled a small treasure box out of a drawer. This was her secret box. Inside was everything from valuable items to mere rubbish. However, they were all precious, memorable treasures in Natsuhi's eyes. She pulled a small pouch out of the box. She stuck her hand inside it. It was a kind of charm that her own family had given her when she had married. A spirit mirror to ward off evil. Her own face was reflected in it. Youth doesn't last forever. Recently, she'd seen a bit of her parents and grandparents on her own face, so by staring at her reflection in the mirror like this, she felt as though her soul had returned to the family she'd been born into. Dad, Mom, always been so ignorant, and unable to support my husband. Of course, her face in the mirror did not answer. However, Natsuhi continued. I wait here alone because I love my husband. However, I think love means being close to one another, though I understand logically that staying here is the best way I can help him. I still feel wretched for doing it. It's tough, isn't it? Waiting for the sake of love. With a plop, a tear fell into the mirror. Old dear memories of her life at her parents' house rose up inside her. Now was the time for her to follow her parents' example. When her father came home late, her mother would always sit up straight, waiting for him, prepared for him to arrive at any moment. She would always wait for him, kneeling in the entrance hall. No matter how late he came home, she would always wake up all the children and line them up to greet him. At the time, I only thought of her as being exceptionally strict. But at this age, I finally understand how strong she was, preserving her love for her beloved husband, even after being left in charge of the house while he was out. Because of your love for your husband, you couldn't bear to be made to care for an unfamiliar child. Oh? A sudden voice made Natsuhi jump up and look about the room. When she did, there was a Western lady wrapped up wrapped in an extravagant dress. Who are you? Natsuki was confused. There was no one like this in this mansion. However, though this was her first time seeing this person, it felt as though she had seen her somewhere else. Her mind had gone blank with anger at the ruffian who had snuck into her private room, and confusion over the appearance of someone she didn't know. So it took quite some time before she realized that this was the witch of the portrait. Though you murdered a baby you didn't know on that day 19 years ago, I will not hold that sin against you. What are you talking about? Beato had chosen Natsuki as their sacrifice. She was Battler's enemy. Natsuki is? Wait, what? Beato didn't know much about the details of Battler's birth. However, she knew about the fragment from the previous game, and knew there was a chance that Battler was the baby that Natsuki had pushed off a cliff 19 years ago. Oh. Battler had to use this blue edge to protect Natsuki from certain false charges. But if he took it as a confession by Battler himself, then from Beato's position, Natsuki was an enemy who probably forced Battler to live a painful life. You killed that baby, who liked your husband's blood for the sake of your love for your husband. So also for the sake of love, I will not hold it against you. I don't have a clue what you're talking about. Get out, this is my room. Therefore, please do not hold it against me when I kill you for the sake of my love. Beato slowly stuck out her arms and made it as if to grab something in the empty space. That grab bound itself around Natsuki's neck. Natsuki's heels lifted up and a faint purple shape appeared around her neck. Natsuki frantically scratched at her neck, trying to stop whatever was strangling her, but there was nothing there. So, to an outsider, it just looked as though Natsuki was standing on her toes in anguish, scratching at her own neck. She went L5! Both pairs of lovers have shown their determination. I do not think that my love for Battler-san is inferior to theirs. Just as I will not blame you for your sin of 19 years ago, I will not blame myself for the sin. As Natsuki twisted in agony, something she had been grasping fell from her grip. Since it had fallen by her feet, Beato dropped her gaze to see what it was. It was Natsuki's spirit mirror. When she peered into it, there was a sound like a burst of electricity. No. That sound released Natsuki from the invisible hands. It made Beato topple backwards like a doll. Cough, cough, cough. Coughing, Natsuki tried to comprehend what was going on around her. Beato rolled over and, dizzy as though she had just bumped her head, she slowly tried to stand up. Her eyes were bewildered, as though even she didn't really understand what had happened. What is this? That is surprising. You can touch spiderwebs without trouble, but you can't handle the spirit mirror. Even I don't have a clue what's happening. What in the world? She had thought that only Beato the Elder possessed non-human weak points, such as getting burned by spiderwebs and wards, and having her power sealed by spirit mirrors. However, for some reason, this spirit mirror alone could apparently affect Beato as well. Even Beato couldn't understand what about the spirit mirror had such an overpowering effect on her. But Natsuki was different. She instantly realized that the reason for the hesitation of this unearthly being, this witch of the portrait, must be the power of the mirror. So she rapidly crawled across the floor and picked it up. Then she stuck it out so that Beato could see it. Beato still didn't know what was happening. So, still sitting down, she looked straight at it. And this time, both of them understood the situation completely. Beato realized that the mirror was working some hateful power against her. And Natsuki realized that the spirit mirror had the power to repel witches. Why is the mirror? It's because you're an evil witch. This miraculous spirit mirror repels all creatures of evil. Don't point it at me. The spirit mirror still held out. Natsuhi cautiously closed the gap between them. She was cautious, so as to prevent the other form from suddenly lashing out and stealing the mirror, but she suddenly moved to corner this evil. Yeah, don't point the mirror at me. You know, I was just strangling you a couple seconds ago. I do not know who you are. All I know is that you tried to kill me. And I know that you are a creature of evil, fearful of this spirit mirror. Begone, evil one! Beato didn't understand what was happening herself. She didn't know why she had to fear this spirit mirror. However, when she tried to look at the bright light let off by the spirit mirror, it pierced her eyes. Though she didn't understand why she must be afraid, she did understand that she must be afraid. By now, Beato realized that the spirit mirror was both terrifying and harmful. As it came closer to her, she felt an increasingly strong and painful burning sensation over her whole body, as though someone was approaching her with a hot iron. She couldn't even open her eyes because of the mirror's bright, painful glint. Go, return to the world from whence you came, evil one. I, Ushiromiya Natsuhi, do not fear evil in the least. It's no use. Why? Why is this musty mirror so... If I lose here, I'll be the only one to fail this trial. Just like George-san and Shannon-san, and Jessica-san and Kennen-san. I also want Battler-san to acknowledge me, and treasure me. And even though I finally managed to be honest with myself, in a place like this, I alone will be... Are you giving up? Only you? Believe. A miracle of love will surely occur. I love Battler-san. I want him to notice me. And I want him to acknowledge and accept my feelings. My reason for calling him father and dedicating myself to him was out of duty towards a parent of mine. I would have been satisfied with no reward. What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me. No more. That was a deception I used to fool myself. I love Battler-san. And I want him to acknowledge it. Accept it. I won't turn away any longer. I was born because I love Battler-san, and I want him to love me back. And so, I cannot lose. Here. Begone, evil one! There's no place for you here. Can't believe how much of a bop that song is. We are blessed. I'm just thinking of the Saturday Night Live skit with Jim Carrey and who are the other two? Chris Kattan, maybe? Wow. Determination had come too late. If she'd had it from the start, she would probably have managed to finish Natsuhi off right then without any fear. Because she had wavered, it had taken time to kill Natsuhi, and things had ended up like this. But now I am resolved. I want to love Battler-san. I want him to love me. Oh? And so, I cannot lose here. After all, I was born for Battler-san's sake. Yes, that is what we wanted to hear. Ah? Just after a sound like a beetle banging off all the walls filled the room. The spirit mirror was knocked out of Natsuhi's outstretched hand, fell to the floor, and the stake flying around the room pierced through it with a crash. It's an old-ass meme, right? Lucifer of Pride, right here. You dare mock me by choosing a single old mirror to be my first target in so long? Huh? Lucifer-san? Beatrice-sama, you must complete your trial. She's getting away. The sheer amount of gifts of that. It was pretty popular on You're the Man Now Dog, right? You might see an indie. Someone. Help me. Someone! At the spirit mirror, her last ray of hope had been smashed, and the number of strange demons had increased. Natsuki could do nothing but run for it. However, if she made a scene and people gathered, the anti-magic toxin would burn in Beato. Now was her last chance. Thank you, Mizuho-san. Prepare yourself, Ushimina Natsuki. KK. Once again, Beato checked the thin air. This time, she wouldn't let her escape. She had to end Natsuki's pain right away before it got too drawn out. But her power wasn't enough. Though Natsuki scratched at her neck, she also struggled to escape from the room. Her shaking hand stretched out to the lock on the door. The closed room is one of the concepts that allows a witch to be a witch. Just unlocking the door strengthened the anti-magic toxin a little. Since Beato was at her limit, even within a closed room, if Natsuki had undid that lock, Beato's power would weaken immediately, and Natsuki would surely escape into the hallway. Their strengths were matched. However, Natsuki's began to surpass Beato's slightly. The power of the living to live is fundamentally stronger than the power of magic. Of course, Beato was mustering all her might. However, Natsuki was just a bit stronger. That's enough. Lucifer, do it. As you wish. Oh? Lucifer transformed into a stake. Unlike the time she had smashed Natsuki's spirit mirror, flew violently around the room. Then she struck Natsuki's forehead. Natsuki crumpled slowly. When Beato saw this, she also fell to her knees, breathing hard. Hey, Sapar. Does this count? Beatrice didn't complete the trial by her own strength alone, right? That's right, Furfur. True, this trial must be accomplished without borrowing the help of any other. But maybe this is an exception? A pair in love are as one. This doesn't count as help from outside. Battler-san. Oh? Did you really have to scare me like that as soon as the first twilight? My apologies. Sorry, I didn't listen to your instructions. Instructions? Well, I didn't stay in my room. Beato hung her head apologetically. When he saw this, Battler scratched his head uncomfortably. In that case, I should apologize too. I should have chosen my words more carefully. No, you did nothing wrong. Father. I mean, Battler-san. It's okay. Call me whatever you like. Huh? Battler had always looked at the new Beatrice sternly. However, that was gone from his expression now. True, the old you may have called me just Battler. At first, I might have tried to force you to speak to me that way. But that would be pointless. You are Beato, but you're still you. You can call me whatever you want. But, Battler-san. Sure, that works great. Can't say being called father is really my thing. Yes. Earlier, she had hesitated just to say Battler's name at all. Battler had told her to say his name without honorifics. She could have done so right now. She couldn't have done so right now. And even if she had, that might have hurt Battler even more. However, now, she was allowed to call Battler by his name. Just had to look into her eyes to see how happy this made her. I heard from Sapara and Furfur. Seems a strange game has been started. Yes. Sorry for getting involved all on my own. No problem. That reckless way you leap in before you understand is really like you. And, well, heard about the theme of this game. Apparently you're supposed to play it in pairs. Yes, that is correct, Lord Battler. If you can succeed in winning through our trial, We will bless the pair of you and bestow a miracle of magic upon you. It seems these guys have been given their power to Beato's golden butterfly brooch. That means its effectiveness is guaranteed. We've been stuck with each other for a long time now. Nothing wrong with playing this sort of game every now and then. Battler's just okay with murdering someone? You ever just get residual rage from some mundane thing that happened like a decade ago? Like I just got reinvigorated with rage at playing Mortal Kombat with my friends as a kid and getting my ass kicked. Rage? Maybe. Like thinking about stuff that you say. Back then it's like, oh my god, why did I do that? Stuff like that, I guess. I was cringe! Like I was just vibing and then I remembered and I was like, god damn it, yeah. It's fine. Battler-san. Oh, did you hear that, Furfur? Looks like Lord Battler is joining in as well. That's no surprise. After all, we've known since the beginning. Welcome to our trial, Lord Battler. So, who will your sacrifice be? I've already done my part. Go and check if you want. Very well, Lord Battler. Come, Furfur, let's go check. You already killed someone? Huh. Yes, let's. But Separ? This means that all 6 lovers have succeeded in their trials, right? What should we do next? The resolve of all 6 is the real deal. Let us test them further in the next trial. The 2 noisy demons disappeared. They had apparently left to go check on the sacrifice Battler had killed. And also, so that Battler and Beato, who could finally look each other in the eye and talk, could have some time alone. Oh. What do you think of the tale so far? I don't think, like, this is what happens. Like, this is just, I don't know. Because there's been games where Shannon and Kennen have died, like, early on. So Maria, Natsuhi, Kirie, Eva. Who was the other one? Kirie, Eva, Maria, Natsuhi, Rosa. When suddenly asked this question, Angie immediately came to her senses. Then she realized that she had been immersed in Hachijo's tale. She felt a bit defeated and tried to look displeased. You cleverly tried to distract us with this love trial stuff, but exactly 6 people have died, setting up the first Twilight. Impressive. What is this video? Oh. What is Will Ferrell? Oh. Let's see. I remember watching the movie at a friend's house. Is that shortly after high school? I think so. Man. Good old What Is Love. There's gotta be an emote for that, right? On BT2. The head pops. This gives me life. But exactly 6 people have died, setting up the first Twilight. Impressive. Oh, definitely. Oh, you're right. I hadn't realized. And Makusa clapped his hands as though he'd been outsmarted. Even though he figured it out before me, he played the fool. There's no fucking way there isn't. It's gotta be, right? That's simply because the number of lovers just happened to be 6. The fact that it matched to the number of the first Twilight was half coincidence, half design. It's a bit more interesting that way. It feels more like fate. Humans have the bad habit of taking 2 meaningless phenomena and trying to link them together. Trying to make things even seem like fate is a trick of books. It's probably individual heads and you can make your own chain. Oh. If there isn't, need to make some. That'd be something. I guess you aren't a fan of Destiny and Miracles, lady. It's like UFOs. Everyone knows about them, but no one has ever seen them. Here's a cool metaphor. So, normally I try to skip over all the love and illusions and call them unnecessary, useless leans for the mystery. But Okinogi-san disagreed with that way of thinking. He thought that, by looking at things without love that way, the truth could never be reached. You mean President Okinogi's catchphrase? Without love, it cannot be seen? Yeah, that. If I put aside my anger at the person who killed my family in the story, even speak with respect for Madame Hachijo, the one who wrote this tale, then there must be a point to this depiction. After all, she's used up all these pages talking about love and trials. In other words, those are the themes and keywords of this tale. Oh, and there are many who claim that all words are not written in red ink are not worth reading. It is an honor, child of man, that you have read the black letters as well. Stories are written because the writer has something they want to communicate, and some writers feel that it's unrefined to lay everything out too directly. All this about how you'll never reach the truth without love has shown up many times in the works before this one. This new work makes that even more striking. It means that is the one thing the writer wanted to tell the most. The thing that they want us to think about the most. When you think about it, there have been many scenes about love ever since Beato first appeared. Even the first time she appeared before Shannon, she spoke clearly about how love was the single element of the world. And the golden butterfly brooch she had given was also an item for love. She had said that she enjoyed sowing the seeds of love and watching complications arise. And when Shannon stopped borrowing her power, the reason for her argument was also love. After her interactions with Battler started up in full, scenes about love were toned down for a while. But the without love, it cannot be seen definition of magic has been mentioned repeatedly. Then, in the tale right before this one, when Beato became like a doll, several scenes made it seem almost as though Battler and Beato had accepted each other as rivals, or possibly something more. In the end, Battler had regained some memory, and his impression of Beato had undergone a complete change. And then, in this game, from the beginning until now, the word love has been repeated over and over again. The tale you wrote keeps talking about love. However, that's not Maria Onechan's viewpoint or Beatrice's viewpoint. It's Hachijo Toya's viewpoint. Correct. That is what I wanted to tell. And it is my own sort of answer. Answer? Then all the crimes 12 years ago were a trial of love started by strange demons? Ridiculous. I didn't come here to read a romance novel you wrote. What I want to know about is the truth you claim to have reached. Foolish child of man. After reading all of this, do you still not understand? With an obviously condescending gaze, Hachijo shrugged. It was clear that she was trying to provoke Angie. She was probably hinting that Angie should just go home if she was annoyed. If you're going to read my noble work and not even attempt to see whether you understand it, then get out. Normally Angie would already have thrown a fit and left. However, she couldn't do that. Though she didn't like someone else toying with her family's fates in a story, she was growing increasingly certain of something else as she read through it. Just as Hachijo's followers said, this tale really does have the same presence, the same scent, as the tales written by Beatrice. Maybe one day I won't have to pop in just to lurk and go to sleep. It's all good, Waco. What's going on? I appreciate the work. Love you, Nini. Nini? Thank you, Waco. Thank you for the lurk. Hope you have a good rest. I'm guessing you're going to sleep, right? The author was certainly different. However, because it reached to the real truth, it had the same scent. Angie was beginning to acknowledge this. Hachijo Toya was one who had reached Beatrice's truth. An endless witch like Beatrice, who could add to the endlessly stretching parallel worlds of the Catbox. If one has reached Beatrice's truth, they can create a new tale, whoever they are. With this new manuscript, I'm sure someone besides myself will appear and reach the truth. Those people will be qualified to create new tales of their own. So there'll be more and more endless witches. Yes, and these many endless witches will add to Beatrice's catbox tale. The more they add to it, the more people will reach the truth. When that happens, the very first endless witch, Beatrice, will finally be rewarded for writing such long letters, packing them in bottles and throwing them into the sea. You might have yelled at me angrily and risen from your seat. However, you did not. Why? I hate to admit it, but I'm starting to think that your tale has some kind of truth or hinted within it. I already have my own ideas. However, that's no more than looking with a single eye. Unless I accept a different viewpoint from my own and look at things from more than one angle, I'll never be able to see the truth in 3 dimensions. That's my interpretation of without love it cannot be seen. Very well, child of man. Perhaps as the final survivor of the Ushirimiya family, it was fated that you would find the truth and become an endless witch. I exist only as a guidepost to awaken you as the true successor. Angie Beatrice. Oh? Sometimes I don't understand what she's saying. However, she knows something. And maybe she actually has reached the truth, as she claims. In other words, I didn't learn the truth even after reading the 2 message bottles Beatrice left behind. And I'm now reading tale after tale filled with hints. So these hints are challenges, provoking me to think. Indeed. Perfect. I'll find this truth you say you've reached. It's a good thing I came here. That it is. I invited you here because you hadn't found it yet, child of man. But the truth I see and the truth you see overlap. Just as you see things with a single eye, so do I. Now that I've found you, I can finally see the truth with both eyes. Fwa! So the first twilight has finally happened. Everything so far has made me so sleepy. You have some sleep in your eye. Huh? Where? Mind your own business. Mind your business. Okay. Humph. As you wish. Let's begin. First off, the first twilight. Well. Wait, who was the 6th one though? We didn't see it. Right, who was number 6? Kraus. Probably Kraus. Rosa Maria. Ava. Natsuki. Kirie. Erika was dozing off on her bed, so when a knock sounded on the door, it took some time before she noticed. She looked at the clock and saw that not much time had passed since she had lain down. Yes, who is it? Hope you have a good reason for knocking on the detective's door at an hour like this. That's right. I have one thing to say before we begin this game. Oh? That detective proclamation thing. Do as you wish. No, I mean the opposite. I say we raise the stakes. Raise the stakes? What's this? Now that sounds interesting. What do you mean? It's simple. Battler got a shot off at us in the last game. So if Erika does the same in this game, we're only even. Wasn't the last game a tie? We failed to win a game that should have been a shoo-in, right? If that isn't a loss, I don't know what is. Right, Erika? Yes, my master. If I hadn't failed so miserably, we would have won that game easily. Oh, I get it. So this time you'll intentionally fight at a disadvantage by not making a detective proclamation, and win despite that. You're scheming to not only wipe out your loss from a previous game, but to totally flip the score upside down, right? You intend to participate in the game Battler-san poured his heart and soul into with a foolish handicap like that. That is not only presumptuous, it's quite rude. You got a point there. It sounds more like an excuse just in case they lose. True, you could also look at it that way. If they win, it's a great victory, but if they lose, Erica's side has a nice little excuse. Isn't that a bit unsporting? Don't worry, this bet is balanced on both sides. If this game is won by a human without the detective proclamation, it'll be impossible for Battler and the others to pick up the pieces of the illusion of the witch. But on the other hand, if Erica loses, that detective trash will be sent into the depths of oblivion along with the worst possible fragment. See? That's balanced, isn't it? An ultimate victory with a mere human, not a Superman detective, destroying the illusion of the witch. She's putting her own destruction on the line to make that bet. I've gotten bored with these sluggish repeating games that you and the former Beato made, so we're raising the stakes and settling it all at once. Well, that is true. If Battler makes it through this game, it'll mean that Battler has won Beato's game, and the game will end. In a sense, it's a showdown you can't escape, right? I see your position. Are you okay with that, Erica? Yes, of course. In order to regain my master's trust in me, which was lost by my previous defeat, I will risk even my own destruction. Is that of your own will? What's wrong, Erica? Answer him, okay? Obviously, this is my own will. I certainly will not lose, even without the detective proclamation. I will defeat you no matter what. Battler-san. Sure, that's fine. If that's what you want, I'll accept that challenge. Thank you very much. I'll make sure you regret it. After all, when Battler played for the human side, he never had anything as convenient as the detective's authority. All he was allowed to do was use the blue truth and demand that Beato repeat things he said. Exactly. In a way, the last game was unfair. We failed to win despite that, which is why it was no different from a loss. Do what you want. If you feel like making a detective proclamation, do it whenever you like. I understand that you're holding it in reserve at the moment. As if I'd use such a thing against an opponent like you. Then get started, you two. I'm already starting to get bored. Leave it to me, my master. I will destroy the illusion of the witch for you without fail. Just pieces out. George and Jessica had been the ones knocking on Erica's door. They were asking whether Battler and Maria had come to this room. Of course they had. A good while ago, they went downstairs saying they wanted to get something to drink. We thought they might have come to your room. Of course not. Why would they? Are you sure they didn't go to the mansion? We called the servant room and dining hall of the mansion, but no one picked up. Please, stay here, you two. I'm gonna go check the mansion. Hey, it's dangerous to go out this late. How could a stranger sneak into this sealed-off island? Stay in that cousin room of yours. I'll contact you if anything happens. Also tell the servants in the guest house servant room not to leave the building. Bye. Wait a second, Erica-san. She's a strange kid. After speaking her mind and not listening to anything else, Erica had dashed down the stairs and rushed outside. The first twilight usually starts in the morning, but it looks like we've got an early fight this time. No crime has occurred in the guest house, so that means the stage of the tragedy is in the mansion. Though she had an umbrella up, Erica got drenched as she sprinted. She brashly licked the raindrops that dripped down her face. Erica was at her most energetic. According to her memory from the previous game, the entrance hall to the mansion would be locked after the start of the family conference. However, the lock was undone this time. Had someone unlocked it, or had the lock not been set? Or had it not been possible to set the lock? Well, no point thinking about it now. After all, that might just be a whim of the Game Masters. soon as she entered the entrance hall. The door to the parlor opened violently. Out of it flew Goda's large body. Ah, good evening, Goda-san. Is something the matter? Police! Ambulance! The expression really is wonderfully pathetic. Just perfect for the first one to discover the crime. Cha-cha-cha. Please, calm down. How could the police or an ambulance get to an isolated island inside a typhoon? I'm sure the phones are out anyway, so please, calm yourself. Yells from Kraus and Rudolph's group could be heard from the parlor. Oh, Kraus and Rudolph are alive. Who's left? Hideyoshi? Their shaken appearance perfectly signified the coming of the first twilight. Well then, give me the victims, the scene, and a reconstruction of the situation. Those who left to take a break didn't come back, so the adults went to the parlor. When they did, the door was sealed from the inside and they couldn't open it. You'll see later, but the hat stand in the parlor had been used to bar the double doors from the inside. So you're trying to say that the door was blocked from the inside, and the windows were also locked from the inside. That's it. When they went around and looked into the parlor through the window, they saw Rosa lying on the sofa in an unnatural position, with blood pouring from her forehead. They then smashed the glass, entered the parlor, and discovered that Maria was also there, lying by the wall and covered in blood. Poor Maria. Got it. Yes, that would make them yell. And the other crime scenes. The entrance wasn't locked when you came to the mansion because they went out through it to check the parlor from the outside. It had been locked before they were left through it, so there was a chance that the others who had gone missing were lying elsewhere within the mansion. And the adults are now searching the entire building. So, do the places the victims died match that long, crazy delusion you showed earlier? They match. Rosa and Maria were in the parlor. Beyond that, Natsuki was in her own room, and Kiria was in Kraus' study. Eva was in the rose garden. No, wait. She was moved to the VIP room, wasn't she? Yes. Eva's corpse was found in the VIP room. That makes 5 victims. That's one short for the first twilight. Who's the 6th person and where? Kraus-sama, the chain on this room is also set. Cut it. The culprit might be hiding in there. Goda, do it. Oh, they all have guns this time? Rudolph and Kraus had brought Winchesters from Kenzo's prize collection. They yelled at Goda, who was carrying the wire cutters, to cut the chain. The victims had been found one after another at several locations inside the mansion. The men who had lost their wives searched through the mansion in a rage looking for the culprit. Did they say Hideyoshi? Huh. This was a guest room. It had previously been a room where the relatives would stay, but it hadn't been used much since the construction of the guest house. This forgotten room had been sealed from the inside by the chain. Yeah. As soon as the chain was cut, Rudolph pushed Goda aside and flew into the room. Is anyone there? Get out here. There's someone on the bed. Let's get some light, Aniki. And Kraus pushed the switch on the wall. The guest room lit up, and the figure lying on the bed came into view. Oh. Wait, what? No, he's not dead. There's no way. Battler. Damn it. What are you doing in a place like this? Rudolph's knees crumpled, and he fell over Battler's corpse. No words could console him as he cried with mad sorrow. In a single night, he had lost both his wife and his son. During this time, Kraus checked the window and the bathroom, and searched the closet to find if anyone was hiding there, but found no one. Pepe hands. Battler. Battler! Damn it! How sad. I can't believe it. But this room is also a closed room. What? Again? Yes. My study, where Kirie-san was. Natsuki's room. A VIP room with Ava, the parlor with Rosa and her daughter. And now Battler-kun in this guest room. They're all closed rooms, aren't they? I don't understand. It couldn't be suicide, could it? That's impossible. How could this be a suicide? Ah, Battler! That's a shock. That's a surprise. Oh? There's a surprise. Exactly, right? To think that you yourself would be the sixth person. It's more interesting to kill yourself off every now and then. And all of the crime scenes are closed rooms. It's a murder that couldn't have been performed without magic. Humph. Isn't seeing through that the point of this game? In other words, it must be a murder that could have been performed without magic. After all, if it really could be done only with magic, this wouldn't be a game. That's an interesting thought. Yes, that is the sort of game we've been playing. This game is fair. The goal is to explain without magic the strange crimes that are claimed to be caused with magic. If that couldn't be done, it wouldn't be a game. In other words, as Erica had said, they must be murders that could have been performed without magic. To turn it around, which side had a certain responsibility? They had to make a crime that could be reproduced with tricks and not magic. Unless the human side could see through to those tricks, the witch side could use all kinds of magic and illusions. In other words, in order to carry out a closed-room murder with magic, it was necessary to create a crime that would be possible by human hands. But why does Battler die in the first Twilight? Because this never happened before. He's always survived. So what's the difference? Now I understand. I see why. When I ordered the Seven Sisters to kill my classmates back at St. Lucia's, they couldn't do what I told them. I understand the meaning of Mammon's words. Magic can only do what you can accomplish by your own hands. Is that it? At that time, if I had possessed the determination to kill my classmates, no, that's not it. At that time, if I had been capable of killing my classmates, capable of pulling it off, then the Seven Sisters of Purgatory would probably have pulled it off for me. They could only accomplish what I could do myself. No, that's not it either. They could take what I had accomplished and turn it into magic. However, because there had been a great number of witnesses in that classroom, it would probably have been impossible. It would have been burned by that anti-magic toxin Maria and Achan and the others always talk about. Making all the noises. However, if I had called those classmates out somewhere without witnesses, and if I had succeeded in the murder, at that point, the Seven Sisters of Purgatory would be capable of carrying out a magical murder. Even with magic, witches cannot do things that they cannot accomplish by themselves. They can only adorn things they are capable of doing with magic. Interesting. And that is because those who accomplish something without using magic later claim that magic was used and call themselves witches. This Erica person has understood that since the beginning. That's why she will never surrender to witches. She is confident that it must be explainable with tricks. The old battler was toyed with so frequently because he did not possess that conviction. Once you see through that rule, the witch loses any chance at victory. That's why they have to make their opponent surrender before they see the truth of that rule. The longer the match is drawn out, and the more hints are given, the greater the witch's overwhelming disadvantage becomes. Once again, this reasoning keeps spinning around in circles. Why did Beato let this game get drawn out until she lost? Many victims have been found, and the mansion is still wrapped in chaos. Hideyoshi's group seemed to have gone to the guest house, worrying about the safety of the kids there. Kraus and Rudolph's group was in the hall, talking about what should be done next. See how all the guys are alive. Okay. During a short gap in this chaos, Erica dashed all about the mansion. She was checking the crime scenes. Normally, with the detective's authority, Erica had the right to openly investigate the crime scenes to her heart's content. However, this time, she hadn't yet made use of that authority. She was a guest and an outsider, so there was little to no chance that she would be allowed to investigate. So she was forced to quickly check all the crime scenes now, while she could still run about as she pleased. In the servant room, there had been a clear folder containing a sketch of the mansion's interior. Because she had borrowed that, she knew the locations of all the rooms. So all the servants are alive, right? Right. Erica skillfully made her way through the mansion, dashing into each crime scene in turn. Lady Erica, I believe you know, but allow me to warn you just in case. Yes, what is it? It is true that you have an incredible photographic memory, Lady Erica. That combined with the detective proclamation is what made it possible for you to avoid being deceived by anything. Yeah, I get it. Since no detective proclamation has been made about me, even my photographic memory doesn't count as foolproof evidence. Of course I understand that. Still, that doesn't mean I can afford to miss viewing the crime scenes directly. After all, in the last game, my pride in that regard led me to a truly miserable failure. For example, by this argument, no matter how well you examine a person's corpse, you could not even guarantee that they were not faking their death with absolute certainty. Most probably, features of this situation must be individually confirmed by telling Battler to repeat them in red. And I'll need to use the blue truth liberally in order to make him. I understand. Let's start with the basics. The lack of the detective's authority is no handicap. It simply means that I'm fighting under the same conditions Battler once was. Yes, this fight is retracing the old days when Battler and Beto fought so fiercely. I have nothing as convenient as the detective's authority. I just have to truly fight the same way the old Battler fought. Thinking of it this way, it may be true that I was given up quite a favorable, unfair position last game, just as my master has said. It may be difficult without the detective's authority, which is also my pride and honor as a detective. But I won't let that be a handicap. I know what magic is. I'm fully aware of how to fight with the red and blue truths. I know the way to fight in this game many times better than the old Battler did. Gotta head to bed now. Good night, JP. Night, Nara. Hope you have a good rest. Thanks for stopping by. Quickly visited the VIP room, across the study and Nazi's room on the second floor, as well as the parlor and the guest room on the first floor. This time checking with my own eyes, as I had failed to do in the last game. Oh. All the buddies. Wait, what? Corpses found in the parlor. Further, Erica didn't perform a proper investigation, so the details of the cause of death are unknown. Across the study, guest room, VIP room, her room. The H had the illusion of family. He's already dead, but thanks to Kraus and Nazi's close room illusion, he's being made to look as though he's alive. Therefore, there is no longer any need to include him in the number of people on the island. Without him, the number of people goes from 18 to 17. However, after welcoming in the guest known as Erica, the number returns to 18. Just realize how odd it is for me to just decide it's time to sleep. Like I just don't ever consciously make that decision now, that I really think about it. Is that right? It's odd for you. Just go to sleep when you're tired, or... Because that's usually what happens with me. But I gotta fix that. Now I just lay down and oops. I see. Oh man, that'd be nice to have. Like I don't intend to, it just happens. I think I want to go back to that, but I also don't want to because I remember, I think I've told this story before, but I was supposed to hang out with a friend at night, pick him up from work, but I went to sleep watching Adult Swim. Aqua Teen Common Force, actually. Because I woke up and it's like, oh, TV's still on. Great. Whoops. Used to have this at time, but that went out the window like 4 years ago. Oh, okay. He's fine now. He's fine. Everything's fine. As well as the parlor and the guest room on the first floor. This time checking with my own eyes, as I'd failed to do in the last game. First off, all the scenes were made to look like closed rooms. Probably of special note was the fact that the master keys could have had nothing to do with the trick. The closed rooms were all made without relying on any elements that could be locked or unlocked from the outside by a master key or something else. The windows were locked from the inside, and the doors were all locked in chain. The master key could get around all the locks on the doors, but not the window locks or the chain locks. I haven't yet had Battler confirm that it's impossible to manipulate those from the outside, but I'm sure he'll be able to say it in red. It'd be stupid otherwise. 11 PM was the time, and then it was 12, and suddenly 2 AM, and now it's RNG. Oh no. Pepe hands. I understand. Sometime between 5 PM and 5 AM on weekdays, and who the fucking knows on the weekend. Just whenever. I understand. Right now, I'm a mere human. Can't even properly confirm the death of the corpses. Last time, I neglected to check the corpses, and let a massive bit of magic get by me. It won't fail like that again. If I did, I wouldn't be able to face the master I'm so indebted to. We have checked all the scenes and finished gathering information. Here's our report. Go ahead. First, all the rooms are closed rooms formed by the window locks and chain locks and the like, so that interference from the outside would be difficult. The only exception is the parlor, where Rosa and Maria lay dead. Please, allow me to speak. Let it be known that the door was barred with a hat stand. It is thought to be substantially the same as a chain lock, and that it can only be set from the inside. It is probably their goal to construct closed rooms where explanations using master keys are made completely ineffective. The parlor has no chain lock due to its very nature, so it is natural that something else would be used in the chain's place. In that case, the interesting question becomes why one of the other rooms with chain locks wasn't chosen to be a closed room. There were several guest rooms other than the one Battler lay dead in, all with similar layouts, correct? Yes, that is correct. In that case, even though it should have been more beautiful to throw them in there, so that everyone would be inside a chain-locked closed room, they did not. That hat stand door bar in the parlor seems very suspicious. They should probably pursue this when demanding red truths. Also, we have corpses, but are they the same absolute deaths with their necks sliced open, like in the last game, which could be confirmed even without the detective's authority? Of course, she attacked all the corpses in all the crime scenes this time. However, without the detective's authority, she had no guarantee that she would be able to see through any fake deaths with certainty. The old Battler had also started fighting by doubting whether the victims were truly dead. It was the same for Erica. Please, allow me to speak. Know that there were no corpses that could have been confirmed dead with certainty by physical means. Please, allow me to speak. We cannot deny the possibility that one of these corpses might be a fake death. Well, I doubt Battler will easily confirm their deaths in red even if I tell him to. Sheesh. I liked Beato's chain of 6 closed rooms better. However, these closed rooms are even more complete, considering that master keys don't help you at all. There are 2 general ways of breaking closed rooms that Battler might be after. An illusion of a closed room, or an illusion of a crime. What'll be one of those? I get the first one. That's when something looks like a closed room, but it actually isn't, right? What do you mean by an illusion of a crime? An illusion that makes it seem as though a crime has occurred. In other words, are they really dead? Well, that's dumb. If the people inside are alive, handling any kind of closed room is like pissing in the toilet. Still, with this closed room, it's pretty hard to think of any other answer. What about the endless possibilities of manipulating the chain lock from the outside? We don't know if there are secret doors, ways to kill from a distance, chances of suicide, or even whether these are complete closed rooms in the first place. I already know, since I'm looking at Battler's game board from the other side, but these are perfect closed rooms. They can only be constructed from the inside, and there exists no method by which to deconstruct, or interfere with them from the outside. Can you say that in red? That'd be a little too rude to Battler, so no. If you do love me, you must see my words as red truth already, right? Then the closed rooms are perfect. In other words, this is an illusion of a crime. It does seem that way. If so, these are all trick closed rooms. Doesn't this mean that everyone got so pissed at Erica bragging about detective and stuff that they joined together and set up a fake murder to make fun of her? Oh, is that the right answer? I'm like a super detective. Unfortunately, this isn't a fake. The victims really have been killed. Huh? You dumped me by 2400 on the second day, right? No detective proclamations have been made, but she's very accurate when examining corpses. She's good enough that I could give her examinations the red truth. So, does that mean that they were definitely dead when Erica examined their corpses? Yes, that's right. Totally. But you won't say it in red for her, right? Giggle. And that poor Erica must want it so bad. Well, she isn't even the detective this time around. I won't give her any red. Giggle, giggle. Still, that makes it incredible. This time, Battler's really made a perfect closed room. Oh, yes, I believe you're right. Well, will Erica be okay? Looks like an ordinary closed room murder at a glance, but this one is pretty nasty. Won't this load be a bit too heavy for Erica without her detective's authority? She's a self-proclaimed detective. I'm sure she'll pull through. If Battler and Beato are defeated by a mere human who isn't even a detective, they'd fall apart in the most exquisite way, don't you think? And even if Erica loses, you get to play by throwing her into the force fragment and knocking her into the depths of oblivion. Exactly. No matter how it turns out, it won't be boring. You really are heartless, aren't you? Well, wringing out this black cat like a towel and licking up every last drop is bliss to me. Gross. Beato's game board did entertain me for quite some time, but we've already wrung everything we can from it. It'll be over with this game, so in the end, he really must let Battler and Erica bet everything in one final face-off. And I wanted to play with you forever in this game. What a shame. Come now, I've spent plenty of time with you already. Go find me another interesting game. If you do, I'll play with you again. Ah, yes. You really don't let me get bored. That's okay, Broncostel. Seeing your face twist with anguish is the one forbidden honey I've found for myself. Oh, she cray. Loma Delta had guaranteed that it was a perfect closed room. Broncostel had guaranteed that it was a perfect murder. A perfect closed room. And murder. The witches hated Killjoy, so they haven't said anything with the red truth yet. Pursuing that was the role for Battler and Erica. They're both cray. Looks like you've trampled all over the crime scenes by now. Satisfied? Is your inspection complete? Yes, I'm satisfied. So, about our war of red and blue. Shall we start right away? Or do it all at the end? I don't like putting things off. I think the same goes for you. And let's get started with the closed rooms of the first Twilight. First, I'd like to check. Do you intend to respond if I ask you to repeat something in red? Depending on what you say, yes. I have no obligation to respond to everything, and I won't reveal my reasons when I refuse. Good. Well, let's start simple and confirm the definition of the closed room. Lanner, please read it aloud. Understood. We demand that the following be repeated. Lanner spread out one of those scrolls that some official would always spread out when announcing the king in Western fairy tales and read it aloud. First, the rooms with the 6 people in them are all closed rooms. Acknowledged. course, that's only until Goda and the others severed the chains and destroyed the closed rooms. At a nod from Lanner, Cornelia, who stood behind her, started taking notes. Second, the definition of a closed room implies that it is impossible to construct from the outside. Acknowledged. In other words, no trickery done from the outside can construct a closed room. It is not permitted for a chain lock to be reset from the outside by a cleverly used wire, for example. I didn't need you to tell me that. Lanner, please continue. Third, the definition of a closed room implies that all forms of interference that pass between the inside and the outside of the room are prevented. Acknowledged. However, I won't deny the kinds of interference that you expect from a normal room, such as knocks, voices, and the extension telephone line. Fourth, at the time of the deconstruction of the closed rooms, none existed within the rooms except the victims: Natsu, Ava, Kirie, Rosa, Maria, Battler. Okay. Acknowledge. In this way, they could confirm whether or not the culprit had been hiding inside a closed room. The culprit had slipped out of the room after the discoverers had noticed the murders and then walked away. It would have been possible to construct an illusion of a closed room, because Battler had acknowledged their statement with the red truth. The possibility that the culprit and the victim had both been inside the closed room at the time of the crime, that the culprit had hidden under the bed and snuck out after the discovery of the crime, had been denied. Fifth, no murder was committed after the deconstruction of the closed rooms. I refuse. Why? Because the victims really were alive after the closed rooms were destroyed? So Kraus and the others had barged in were the culprits and committed the murders then. In other words, they were post-closed room murders. Is that why you refuse? Not at all. The murders will continue to occur, so we cannot say in red that no murders will happen after this. Sheesh, what twisted logic. You probably see what we're getting at. Kraus's group cut the chain, destroyed the closed rooms, then killed the people inside. I just want you to counter this. Lady Erica, it is insufficient to refer to Kraus's group, an unspecified number of people. You should first determine which humans entered the room after the closed room was deconstructed. Allow me to speak. Excepting the victims, those who entered the closed rooms are Kraus, Rudolph, Hideyoshi, and Goda. Allow me to speak. This is based on spoken testimony. Know that there is no proof that others did not enter. I know that already. Let's have you repeat that. After the deconstruction of the closed rooms, then excluding me, only Kraus, Rudolph, Hideyoshi, and Goda entered the rooms. Sure. I acknowledge. However, this only applies to the current point in time. It's possible that some later development of the game will cause more people to enter. Repeat it. Kraus, Rudolph, Hideyoshi, and Goda are not culprits. Oof. Battler put his finger on his chin, deep in thought. This word, culprit, is fairly broad. It might serve to greatly restrict the darkness of the witch. Why not answer? If we refuse, their blue truth naming Kraus and the others are the culprits will remain. Sure. I'll acknowledge it, but I'll make the language more strict. Kraus, Rudolph, Hideyoshi, and Goda were not involved in the murders of Natsuhi, Ava, Kirie, Rosa, Maria, and Battler. And that means it was also impossible for any of the other humans who didn't even enter the closed room to have been involved with murder, doesn't it? Who knows? Think about it yourself. Think you can build up some blue truth for how a closed room murder can be committed without entering the room. Then I'll respond with the red truth. However, I only need to destroy one of the blue truths you'll be presenting from here on out. In other words, even if you do manage to use the blue truth and explain this away with some long-distance closed room murder trick X, I don't necessarily have to counter that with the red truth. These are the rules of the Witch's game. Angie had confirmed these details with Beto in the fourth game. The Witch side lays out riddle after riddle that it claims are impossible to carry out except by magic. The human side must use the blue truth to argue that they are explainable with tricks. If they fail to make a counter-argument with the blue truth or even one of the riddles, that riddle will be considered to have been done by magic, and it will be impossible to deny the existence of a witch. In other words, the witch side only needs to protect any one of its riddles. However, the human side has to fully explain all riddles with the blue true. And even if the human side managed to explain all the riddles with the blue true, if any one of those is successfully countered by the red true, the witch will win. That was why, like the strategy the old Beato had adopted at the end, it was sufficient for the witch side to put off their red text counter-arguments until the very last moment, then make a single strike at their opponent's most fragile spot. In any event, you've refused to repeat that last one, right? Don't get the wrong idea. I don't give out red for free. From the witch's side perspective, repeating statements made by the human side is just a supplement to make sure that they haven't misunderstood the question. Therefore, they had no obligation to respond to extremely broad demands. Not bad. Looks like you can handle being a player on the witch side pretty well too. Your experience is no match for mine. Liner. Let us continue. Next, the victims did not die by any method other than homicide. Acknowledged. Of course, there were no suicides or accidental deaths. 7th, the victims. That's enough, Liner. Are you sure? There are still items. Yes, that will do fine. I've confirmed the status of the crime scene. From here on, it's time for me to argue back with the blue troop. Sure, fine. Let me hear your masterful theories. Oh. Though Battler and Erica were enemies, it looked to Beato as though they were having a little fun doing this. She was probably slightly jealous of Erica. Beato thought back on the books she had read in Featherine's library, which the older her and Battler had fought. That must have been fun as well. Okay. Byoga? Byoga? What is that? Yeah, let's do the 5-minute rear B. Because I don't know... It looks like we're gonna go back to the humans and then get their thoughts on the murders. So yeah, let's do the 5-minute rear B. Un momento. Wait, 137? Oh, I guess I started early, right? Un momento. Alright, and we're back. Man, these 5-minute breaks are so short. It's fine though. So where are we? Yeah, so I thought back on the books she had read in Featherine's library in which the old her and Battler fought. That must have been fun as well. During a short break at the family conference, a horrible, brutal mass murder had occurred. The 6 people killed, excluding Battler, had all been women. The remaining men went mad with rage at this cowardice, then broke down sobbing at the sadness of losing their wives over and over again. And why did all the girls die? Why were they all women? How cowardly can a person be? What's wrong with us? Here we are under the same roof and we're just smoking away, not noticing that members of our own family are getting killed. Damn it! But who and how? They were not unguarded. The chain was set for all of them. Who gives a damn about that? I don't care how they were killed, I just want to know who did it. Hey, Genji-san, Goda-san. Were the doors and windows to the mansion all locked during the family conference? Hold on. Okay. Yes, there can be no doubt. In accordance with Madame's instructions, everything is always locked at the time of the night patrol. Tonight was a special case, so everything was locked up right after seeing the children off to the guest house. How is that possible? I mean, Battler and Maria-chan were inside the mansion, right? They shouldn't have been able to get in, right? If everything really was locked up properly, that couldn't have happened. Doesn't that prove that the building wasn't completely locked up? Well... He was arguing that Goda's failure to lock up properly might have allowed a stranger to sneak in. At the very least, none of them had known that Battler and Maria had visited the mansion. If those two had come and found everything locked tight, they wouldn't have been able to get inside. If they had rung the doorbell, Goda would probably have heard them from the servant room. But Goda said that nothing of the sort had happened. How they had entered the locked mansion was a complete mystery. This is merely an idea, but... For example, what if Madame or someone happened to be near the entrance? Notice Battler-sama and Maria-sama knocking on the door or ringing the bell and let them in. That couldn't have happened. You were in the servant room then, right, Goda-san? Isn't there a chime in the servant room that goes off when the front door opens? There's no way you would have missed anyone. Well, at that time, Goda was serving drinks as you requested, so he was not in the servant room. Why was there only one servant in the mansion on such an important day? Why was someone as important as Genji-san on duty in the guest house? Does that make any sense? Why was the servant room left empty? My wife formed those shifts. She probably hoped that Goda would be kind enough to serve some fashionable drinks throughout the family conference as well. But Kraus-ni-san, this is the family conference, right? The most important day of the year, right? Why was Goda-san left as the only person on shift in the mansion? If there had been just one more person, everything would be different, wouldn't it? Right? Right? So wait, Shannon, Kennen, and Genji and Kumasawa are in the guest house? Huh. With a half-crying, half-enraged, jumbled-up expression, Hideyoshi yelled at Goda. Of course, the culprit who killed everyone was the most to blame and the most despicable. However, even if he understood that, He needed to let out some of his emotions by hating someone he could see. I'm fully aware of how everyone feels. However, please calm down. Either Goda-san wasn't thorough when locking up, or someone let Battler-san and Maria-san in after they came back from the guest house, and then forgot to lock up afterwards. However, that doesn't necessarily have anything to do with how the culprit snuck in. After all, the mansion is massive. They might have come in much earlier and hid until late at night, for all we know. I can understand that you might want to suspect certain people, but please calm down. Our guess is right. The culprit is the one we should hate, not the servant who just happened to be on duty. At any rate, let's calm down. I feel as terrible as the rest of you. However, we must take the initiative now and regain our composure. Aniki. Everyone feels just as sad and devastated. None of us will ever forgive the one who did this. For that reason, we must regain our composure. He's right. I still have George. Krasny-san still has Jessica-chan. And Rudolph-kun, you still have Angie-chan waiting for you to return, right? It's still too soon to start pointing fingers. The culprit is still on this island, and we can't be sure that this tragic crime is over. We need to stay calm to prevent any further tragedies. Erica's words softly consoled them, and gently admonished them. If a servant had said the same thing, Rudolph would probably have jumped on him. However, since it had come from the lips of the guest, a neutral party, it seemed to reach their ears. Let's stay cool. We have 3 grown men with us, and guns as well. Judging by the pattern of the murders, the chances of the culprit having a gun are low. In other words, as long as we keep our heads, the culprit no longer has any way to touch us. She's right. Can't let the culprit do as they please any longer on our island. Let's find the culprit. We're in the middle of a typhoon. They can't escape from the island, and there's only so many places they can take shelter from the rain in. This island is larger than you'd think. Unfortunately, it would be difficult to search the island with this many people. After all, if we found the culprit, we might shoot them to death on the spot as you are now. If the frightened culprit has run into that deep forest, you won't find them easily. It's weird how we haven't had letters from Beatrice in a while. The last time was episode 5. Well, I guess, yeah, episode 5, right? Outside the parlor. But we didn't even see what it said, right? Right. You should just wait for the typhoon to pass. Have the boat call the police for us and let them thoroughly search the island. The police are incredible. They'll bring hundreds of people and pick through it with a fine-tooth comb. That forest may be deep, but they'll definitely smoke the culprit out. The most important thing now is to make sure no more of our beloved family members are taken from us. Rudolph, if something happens to you, what will happen to Angie-chan back home? Kide, Battler. Damn it. Damn it! Never had a chance to tell you the truth. Krasson, I'm sure that everyone in the cousin room is extremely agitated right now. If you show them that you've regained your composure, I'm sure that will help them relax a lot. Would you mind heading up there? Good point. We have to talk with everyone about what we're going to do next. Please, go up with him, Genji-san and Goda-san. I'm sure that Shannon-san, Kennen-san, and Kumasawa-san are all very agitated. Yes, I'm sure everyone is quite agitated. Are you certain? Is there anything else we can help with? And that's why I want you to go with Kraus-san. I want you there to help him if something happens. Where's Nanjo in all this? I'd like for the rest of us to check and see that everything's locked up here. We'll head up soon, so please go on ahead. Understood. If you need anything, please call us. Yeah, where's Dr. Nanjo? Genji bowed and Kraus nodded. Kraus also nodded to Erica, then headed up to the second floor with Genji and Goda. In times of confusion, when only men are around, it's easy for a composed member of the opposite sex to take the initiative. Even without the detective's authority, she was able to control them quite naturally. Erica had wanted to get rid of the servants for the time being. Okay. In that case, let's get to checking the locks. Our problem's gonna be the big window in the lounge. Looks like it doesn't even have shutters. If they smash this, we won't be able to stop them from coming in. Don't worry. The sound of the glass smashing will be more than enough warning. We'll turn them into Swiss cheese. Quiet, please. Didn't have you stay down here to check the doors and windows. Please, listen calmly is what I'm about to say. When Erika lowered her voice, Rudolph and Hideyoshi realized that she wanted to talk about something secret. So they brought their ears closer as soon as they regained their composure. Listen up. This crime happened during a short break in the family conference. In that tiny span of time, 6 people were killed without anyone noticing. Can't imagine a crime improvised on the spot going so smoothly. This crime was committed by someone who knew the layout of this mansion well, inside and out. JP, the United States used the formula wrong, but came to the answer faster than Canada somehow? What formula? What do you mean? What is this in relation to? Well, if they didn't know the inside well, but a short while ago, they'd attacked Goda, suspecting the servants of making a blunder. However, they'd only thought that he'd forgotten to lock up, and were attacking him for letting the mysterious culprit sneak in. They hadn't considered that one of the servants they knew so well might have taken those lives with their own hands. No, they hadn't wanted to think that. People can't easily suspect someone they know well of being a culprit. Suddenly more vaccinated than Canada, despite fucking up just about whatever we could handling COVID. Oh. Came to answer faster than Canada? Huh. I wonder. Wonder why that is, then. People can't easily suspect someone they know well of being a culprit. At the time of the crime, the mansion was locked from the inside. Only those involved with the family conference existed there. So, Aniki killed Kirie and the others. Or am I supposed to suspect Hideyoshi Nissan? It's impossible. Unthinkable. I never even considered suspecting Kraus Nissan or Rudolph-kun. All of the siblings had excellent relationships with their spouses. True, the Ushumiya family may be strict with discipline and money. That doesn't mean we treasure our own families less than anyone else. Yes, of course, I believe that. I wouldn't dream that any of you would kill your own wives. Erika had already received red truth proof from Battler that they were not the murderers. So there was no need to argue that point. Kraus, Rudolph, Hideyoshi, and Goda. None of those 4 was the killer. And yet, Erika said this. However, what about Goda-san? He was in the waiting room the whole time during the family conference, in a position from which he could do anything without anyone knowing. Isn't it a little early to suspect Goda-san? Goda-san came to bring us drinks in the dining hall during the break. He was with us for quite some time. He couldn't have had time to kill 6 people. However, he might have been able to let the actual killer into the mansion. Precisely. Goda-san probably didn't kill them himself. However, it's very possible that he secretly welcomed the actual murderer into the mansion. Rudolph and Hideyoshi, stunned, looked at each other. They were family. Even a wife of the siblings would be considered family. Though the siblings hated each other, it wasn't possible that they'd hate each other's wives enough to kill them. Eva and Rosa were 2 of the siblings, but none of the others could have had any reason to kill Natsuhi, Kirie, Battler, or the young Maria. But to a servant like Goda, perhaps they were all a little more than complete strangers. I suspect the servants on 2 points. First, the victims are familiar with them, and there were no signs of a fight in any of the crime scenes. I think you know well that there was no disturbance at any of those places. I was thinking that too. Figured Kirie was used enough to fights that she wouldn't get killed that easily, without resisting. That woman wouldn't hesitate to bite your finger off. It does make more sense if the culprit was someone she knew, who suddenly attacked when her guard was down. Come to think of it, same goes for my Ava. She knows a dozen kinds of martial arts. She spends every day practically wishing for some ruffian to attack her. She wouldn't have been killed off so easily. Then what about Rosa-san in the parlor? Do you think she'd be easily killed by a stranger without resisting, while she had her only daughter with her? This tells us something else that's important. Something important? The culprit isn't just one person, right? You're right. Both Rosa-san and Maria-chan were in the parlor. If they hadn't both been killed at the same time, there would have been an uproar. Since the culprit was able to do that, there can't be just one of them. When it comes to Maria-chan, Rosa was like a quick-to-anger mama bear. She wouldn't cower in fear, even if someone pointed a gun at her. I see. So it had to be someone who wouldn't rouse Rosa's suspicion until the last second. Now we see that the idea of an unknown outsider sneaking onto the island is actually the less realistic option. The culprit is someone familiar with this island. There's more than one. The culprit is someone familiar, and there's more than one. Erika's reasoning pointed clearly at the ones they should suspect and guard themselves against. So, you suspect the servants? Yes. Under the current circumstances, they are the most suspicious. The second reason to suspect them is the closed rooms with the chain locks. Why do the chain locks make them suspicious? What if there was no chain lock on the closed rooms? Then they wouldn't be closed rooms. With a single master key, anyone could make them. I see. The servants had to seal them with the chain so that they wouldn't be suspected. Exactly. By setting the chain, they don't have to worry about being suspected. To turn it around, if the chains weren't sent, they wouldn't be able to avoid suspicion since they hold the master keys. So, the only ones with something to gain from setting the chains are the servants. I'm not trying to protect them or anything, but if so, how did they actually set the chains? Is it possible to set them from the outside? Considering how they're built, I don't think it'd be impossible. Have you heard this story? Apparently some mailmen who deliver to apartment mailboxes are known to carry loops of wire with them. Yeah, I've heard of that. Apartment mailboxes often have similar adjoining boxes around them for the nearby room numbers. I hear they'd sometimes accidentally deliver letters to the next room over if they weren't careful. These mailboxes are almost always locked. If you put the mail into the wrong one, you have no way of getting it out. In that situation, they're supposed to tell the owner of that mailbox about their mistake, have that person unlock the mailbox for them, and retrieve the improperly delivered mail. However, the residents of that apartment would often be out, and going through that process would be a real pain. Because of that, some mailmen would make a little tool out of wire with a loop at the end, and use that to fish the mistakenly placed postcard out through the crack of the mailbox. I've heard something similar from a friend of mine, at a building management company. Seems they'd sometimes get drunks who locked themselves in the bathroom and fell asleep. So to get them out of there, they'd stick a thin metal tool through the crack in the door and under the latch. Exactly. All industries have little tools that can easily open things that normally can't be opened. It wouldn't be particularly surprising if the servants of a mansion had something of the sort. Good point. Once you figured out the knack of it, probably could set the chain from the outside by using a wire. Yeah, we can't be sure that it's impossible. True, physically speaking. One couldn't say for sure that there existed absolutely no way to set and unset chain locks from the outside. Chain locks allow for the door to be opened a crack. If you stuck something through that crack, you should be able to manage it easily. It was very natural for them to think that. However, Erika knew better. Though it might be possible in reality, the Red Truth had already declared that these closed rooms could not have been constructed from the outside. In other words, it was impossible to manipulate the chain lock from the outside. And yet, Erika was guiding their thoughts with the illusion that only the servants could have constructed the closed rooms. With an air of solemnly revealing some crucial point, she steadily steered the situation in the direction she wanted. Every part of her serious face for the last few minutes had been an act. No, to put it in her words, it was a detective technique for tricking suspects. I plan to tell Kraus-san what I've told you. I'm not saying that all the servants are culprits. However, it's very likely that one of them is culprit, or has been assisting the culprit. We should split them apart and have people with guns keep an eye on them. Rudolph and Hideyoshi looked at each other again. What she was saying made sense, and it sounded as though she was calmly smoking out the most suspicious people at this point in time. With her accomplished conversation techniques, Erika was cleverly grasping the initiative. Even without the detective's authority, it's possible to control human nature to this degree. What do you think, everyone? Oh, okay. So there's like an extra 20 minutes there. Okay. $20 minutes? 25 minutes. So, how is it playing on the witch's side? Feels strange. I used to think that the witch's side had such a huge advantage. But now that I'm on that side, I see that's ridiculous. It's almost like that game where you stick knives in a barrel and try not to stab the mustache guy inside. From the perspective of the human side, it feels like trying to shoot it at a target hidden by mist. But from the witch's viewpoint, a stray shot might hit and become fatal. The old me played games like that all the time. Yeah, it's almost like Russian roulette. Even so, you believe that I'd eventually notice and stretch those games out to the limit. It may be imprudent of me to ask, but just what is it that you notice, Battler-san? At the very end of your games with the old me. It was a strange question. Even though in the past, Beato had always been the one posing it to Battler. Now that Battler had figured it out, Beato was the one asking it to him. Our roles have been completely flipped, haven't they? In the past, only you remembered, and only I forgot. But this time it's the other way around. Only I remember, and only you have forgotten. Would you mind telling me what it is? Telling you would be easy. But I don't want to tell you. I'm not trying to be mean. I just want to believe in a miracle for a bit myself. A miracle? Yes, this was the single miraculous seed that Battler had left behind. If Beato could remember a certain something without being told, that would prove that Beato had truly revived. So he wouldn't tell her. It was Battler's final seed, which existed because he still couldn't abandon his hopes for Beato's revival. If you can't tell me, then I won't ask. If I have displeased you, please forgive me. Don't worry about it. I just never know when to give up. As she watched that sad smile, Beato's chest tightened. He was looking at her and seeing the old her. Yes, I must become my former self, for his sake. My older sister gets burned by spiderwebs, and I, who don't, must become one. Surely it's more useful to him if I go on a journey to find myself now, than if I simply watch over his game. How do you feel about this game? Do you think you can win? I intend to win. I'll win, and end this eternal torture, just like Beato wanted. When it ends, what will happen to the world? Who knows? I wonder. However, that's what we wish for, so no matter what the result is, I'll accept it. What will happen to me? Beato was uncertain. Even she was probably no more than a piece in this game. If the game ended, then would she, one who had been born out of that game's rules, disappear? The game will probably disappear, but now I completely understand magic, so I'll be able to carry you off the game board. I think that was your wish. My wish? The rest is a secret. I'll be waiting for a miracle, for you to remember all of that on your own. After smiling bitterly for just a second, Battler laughed and told her not to worry. Apparently it was best if she avoided talking to Battler about her previous self. Well then, I'll go check on my opponent for a bit. Can't wait to see what kind of twisted logic that idiot thinks up next. The old Battler-san did a lot of that too. My favorite was the one from the first Twilight of the second game. when he said the culprit killed everyone by feeding them small bombs. Small bombs? OJP? What's up, Psycho? Can we look at the epitaph? Or no? Nope. Okay. Yeah, what's going on, Psycho? Ah, the highlights of my dark past. Please, forget that ever happened, as fast as you can. Your state just filed a new lawsuit against your state? What's going on down there? Is it about the winter storm stuff, or the mask mandates? Yes, I'll try. Battler became a cloud of gold butterflies and disappeared into the darkness. Beato kept bowing until he disappeared completely. I haven't been keeping up with the news. So. To fill in his place, a single gold butterfly appeared and became Beato the Elder. Did you call for me, little sister? Texas filed a lawsuit against its own capital about the masks. Like trying to fight the mandate? Or the releasing of the mandate? Yes, I want to know more about you. And I want to know what the real me is like. I want to become like that. Of course, I also want to know about my future self. Didn't we reveal everything about ourselves to each other for that purpose? However, we did not become one. I cannot understand what we must do to become our single self. Because yeah, we should not be open. Keep it closed! What can we do to become one? I have high hopes for the trials of Zepar and Furfur. Boston's keeping the mandate, but the government is suing itself over it, because why not? Wow, okay. Jeez. I have high hopes for the trials of Zepar and Furfur. You mean the miracle of magic given to the victors. Trying to stop Boston from... Wow. I wonder if that magical miracle means becoming one. I will find my true form. You will fulfill Battler's wishes. Battler will be overjoyed too, so all three of us will have what we want. This is a trial, right? It means we cannot lose to the other two pairs. George-san and Shannon-san, Jessica-san and Kennen-san can only grasp happiness by trampling over them. The conditions apply to all of us. If one of the others succeeds in love, the other two groups, including you, will be trampled over. Why must the scales be so tilted, I wonder? Tilted. Some people will find love, others won't. In that case, you can put those two groups on a scale. However, the scales for our trial have 3 plates, and 2 must lose for 1 to win. That seems horribly skewed. Who knows? It might mean that successful love is worth 2 destroyed loves. You're too insecure, little sister. You can't put your desire to answer to Battler's expectations before your uncertainty over what happens to the losers. You won't be able to win anything. You're right. I won't give up our victory. I don't like doing this to the others, but there will be no hard feelings between us and them. If I do lose, I'll give my strongest blessings to whichever of the lovers wins. So I'll fight with all my heart and soul, so that I have no lingering regrets, and I'll win that miracle of magic. How was it? How did the red and blue shootout over the first twilight go? We started by testing the waters. Battler seemed pretty eager too. She had just come back from a fierce fight with Battler, where she had gathered information by making demands for the red text. It was the old familiar kind of fight, reminiscent of when the red text had first appeared, or when use of the blue text was first permitted. And the result? First, in all cases, it was the victims themselves that constructed the closed rooms. Also, those closed rooms were perfectly preserved until Krause's group broke them open. Also, I confirmed that during this period, all sorts of interference from the outside were impossible. Erica reported this proudly as though it had been a great battle, but Bernkastel looked bored as she listened. After looking at her blankly for a second, Lambda spoke her opinions frankly. Wait a second. Doesn't that mean this closed room murder was perfect? What? The victims had sealed the closed rooms themselves, and the closed rooms had been preserved until Krause and the others broke them open. And no one had been inside of the closed rooms except for the victims. In Krause's group, the ones who had broken the rooms open were not the culprits. This way, she had managed to win several little red truths like these. Normally, simply collecting such vital information would have been enough. However, the Master Witch, tired with boredom, expected a much more flashy, argument-winning victory instead of this plain result. It didn't describe how they died, right? However, this time, I don't have the detective's authority, so there's a chance I messed up when examining the corpses. So if we suppose that a drug that mimics death was used to fool my examination, you mean Puru Puru Pico Puyo? No, not that. It's not impossible for certain well-known drugs such as insulin to bring about a temporary state that mimics death. Battler did not counter that with the red truth. In other words, my blue truth worked. I think we've started with the victory. To sum up Erika's report, all she had done was listen to the red truths Battler had wanted her to hear. Only the information Battler had wanted out there had been shown, and she hadn't been able to strike at any weak points. She was like a kid who had gone out shopping, then forgotten her job and only bought candy. However, this is all the players on the human side could do. Without the detective proclamation, she could only fight by collecting dull bits of information like that. However, her master had been expecting more than that sort of dull fight. So she had tried to give her report energetically, to make it seem as though they were in a superior position. But no matter how much she tried, the cold expression of her master remained merciless. Acha-cha-cha-cha. Your blue truth worked? If you didn't cut it down, it's probably just because it was too stupid. You call yourself a great detective with reasoning like that. I did try to examine the corpses with care, to the best of my abilities. However, I don't have the detective's authorities, so can't be certain. Wait a second, weren't you the one who decided not to make the detective proclamation? Didn't you say you wanted to raise the stakes to make up for your disgrace last time? Well, what's wrong? Are you saying you can't win against Battler without the detective's authority? That's not true, my master. I could easily defeat an incompetent like that even without the detective's authority. It's just the style of fighting is a little different from what I am used to, and I haven't gotten the hang of it yet. As far as humans go, Erika is quite talented. Her knowledge and powers of memory and insight were ahead of the pack. It was likely that no human was more well-suited as a detective than her. However, no matter how much of an advantage she might have had over other people, that didn't matter in the Witch's game. In the Witch's game, it's either 0 or 100. In other words, everything is either the red truth or it isn't. If a normal human was worth a 10, her exceptional power would probably rate a 99. However, it could never be 100. Since it wasn't 100, couldn't be absolutely certain, so it didn't count as red truth. For example, the examination of the corpses that Erika had worried over in the fight just now. If she performed it with the detective's authority, she could have said with 100% certainty whether they were alive or dead. However, without the detective proclamation, it was 99%. There was a 1% chance that she'd made a mistake, and that overturned the foundation of the examination. Erika had gained the detective's authority and had become the Witch of Truth because Bernkastel had supplemented her talent of 99 with an additional 1. Simply because Bernkastel wouldn't give her that 1, In the world of witches, Erica's 99 was treated exactly the same as 0. She couldn't even use her greatest assistant, Lanner, without a power of 100. When working under an Erica who had lost the detective's authority, Lanner's red longsword lost its power. Lanner was also irritated that she couldn't provide full assistance. She had tried several times to convince Erica to use the detective proclamation, but Erica had stubbornly refused each time. Why not just do it? Make that detective proclamation. If you do, you'll be unstoppable. Lanner could even use her red longsword in the Nox Decalogue. Why not do it, if you want? No. There was no need for anyone to explain. By now, it was clear that Erica hadn't abandoned the detective proclamation by her own will. When Battler reached the truth during the previous round, this game was already finished. This isn't really the 6th game. It's just a finale so that Battler can have a chance to serve as Game Master at the end. The result was already decided last game. Yeah, pretty much. The games won't continue forever, and I've lost my bet with Byrne. In this game, Battler will prove that he's reached the game's truth. And then Beato's game will be destroyed in a big victory for the human side. And a big victory for Byrne too. Well, supposedly. But you look unsatisfied for some reason. Yeah, I'm not satisfied. Didn't want such a boring victory. The victory you did want had Beato's game board being torn to bits. And Beato's true pathetic form exposed, humiliated, and trampled on. But this victory of Battler's isn't quite like that, is it? All this about love and promises. He wants to end the game quietly and let her sleep in peace. That sort of ending would make anyone vomit. I didn't give Battler all that advice so that he could end things like that. I had his little sister turned to scrap meat behind his back. I had his parents and family killed horribly over and over again. That was all to spark a desire for revenge against Beato. And now, what kind of ending is this? Have I won? Of course not. Battler's gotten his hands on a victory that neither you nor I can stand. I had to withstand a staggering period of boredom just to come all the way out to this backwoods territory. Just so that I could see Beatrice lamely and pathetically torn to little bits. Didn't come here to sip from a rotten yogurt fragment like this. Aw, your angry face is wonderful too, Byrne. I see. So this is why you want to straighten things out for yourself. At least once at the end. It's all the fault of this moron piece screwing up all the time in the last game. Because of you, this game board that looked like it'd be fun for the first time in thousands of years has all been wasted. Fun for the first time in thousands of years. Filth. Trash. Scum. My apologies, my master. I'll definitely bring you a victory, so please forgive me. If you couldn't win with the detective's authority in the last game, how do you expect to defeat Battler now that he's the game master? You don't have a chance at winning even with the detective's authority, so why bother with it? True, if you can't win anyway, then the detective proclamation isn't necessary. The lack will just make your loss all the more certain. And therefore, if you manage to win this even worse situation, that would be a miracle worthy of me. If, and only if, you can do that, I'll be able to forgive you. Yes, I will surely show you that miracle. Like hell you can, scum. Jeez. All you can do is thoroughly expose your wretched self in a horrible punishment game, with your only weapon taken away from you. And through it all, you'll still roll over playfully, and beg to keep me entertained, scum. Ooh. Sounds like you're having fun. Am I getting in the way? Gold butterflies gathered in the darkness and took the shape of Battler. Though he had just arrived, he seemed to know that the mood was dark. Ah, Battler. I had a look at your first Twilight. Quite impressive closed rooms. I'm sure you're even more talented than Beato. It's just a rehash of the closed rooms Beato had made in the past. I'll take that as a compliment aimed at her. Seems your fight with Erica wasn't bad either. Think your serial murders will move along smoothly? Who knows? My role isn't to carry out serial murders. It's to use that process to show you closed rooms that are impossible without magic. And thereby achieve victory for the witch side and prove that I fully understood this game. No, there's one more thing. What? To settle things with Erica after that evenly matched duel we acted out last time. Battler. Evenly matched? Bernkastel noticeably grimaced. Erica averted her eyes and hung her head, timidly. I know what you'd like to say. That wasn't a draw. We should have won easily, so it counts as a loss. Hey, it's not polite to eavesdrop. Look at the mirror. It's written all over your faces. No way! Where? Hey, what's going on? If you tell me it's written in ink only morons can't see, then death, super death for you. Delta pulled a mirror out of thin air, then looked at it and jumped around angrily. She was apparently pretending to be stupid in her own special way. Erica. What is it? That final fierce attack you and Lanner made in the last game was spectacular. Thanks. What happened to Lanner this time? Are you by yourself? No. I have been waiting here. Lanner had been just standing around in reserve, hiding her presence in the dark shadows. Well, when she can't use a red longsword, Lanner is just useless scum. There's no point in having her around, so she's hanging back. All I can do now is record Lady Erica's reasoning. Why won't you fight with her? Why can't you use that red longsword? Erica's reasoning, and your longsword. Those are strong because they work together. Leonard didn't answer. She just glanced at Bernkastel's expression for an instant. However, that glance was the same as a clear answer to Battler now. Battler fully recognized the situation. You're the one who told Erica not to use the detective proclamation. Oh, I don't know what you're talking about. This fight is between me and Erica. We're gonna fight with all we've got. That way, we'll be able to accept it whether we win or lose. There's no need for a mastermind behind the scenes like you. Come now, I'm no mastermind. I'm just a theater-goer trying to relieve her boredom. A theater-goer is someone who sits quietly in the stands and watches. That's not what we call someone who jeers at the stage and threatens or manipulates the performers. Sorry for being an ill-mannered audience. You might not know it, but I've already paid a huge admission fee to watch this play. Sorry, but I intend to enjoy it until I get my money's worth. If you get in the way of the game's progression, I can use my authority as the game master to boot you out of this game. If you want to, go ahead. If you chase me out, then I'll head back with my piece, Erica. This game will be cancelled and you won't be able to prove that you've reached the truth. A theater-goer is an observer. A truth with no observers is the same as an illusion. You need a theater-goer as a witness until Beato's game ends. Our truth only needs to pass between the two of us. If you get in the way any further, I will beat you out by force. Then you can writhe around in boredom for a few centuries until you can find another way to kill time. Then go ahead and do that. Erica, this game is over. Good work. You were completely useless. You weren't able to overturn the dishonor of your loss, so as promised, I'll throw you into the worst fragment. I'll toss you into the depths of oblivion with empty popcorn buckets. My master, I will win. I'll win no matter what. So please, let me fight Battler until the end. I don't want to lose and get thrown in the depths of oblivion. You know what I want to watch until the end, right? But Battler says he'll toss me out. Hey, what do you do, Lambda? Well, I realize you've been irritated since the last game burned. calm down a bit. Battler, don't provoke Burn so much. This kid can't control her emotions sometimes. Shut up! Who can't control her emotions? Burkestel, who had never showed any expressions at all at one point in time, was now twisting her face into all kinds of displeased and ugly shapes. When Lambda Delta made fun of that, Burkestel clicked her tongue and looked away. As they say, nothing can stop poison but poison. Apparently, Lambda Delta was the only one who could rein Burkestel in. Erica, you want to fight Battler? Clear your name and get Burn back into a good mood, right? Yes. Battler, you want to quickly and neatly end this final game, so that you can prove that you found the truth, right? Yeah. This is a face-off between me and Erica. I won't let anyone get in my way, but I won't let anyone get in Erica's way either. Battler. If both of them wish to fight, then that should be respected. Leave Burn to me. I'm the only one in the world who can calm that kid when she gets in a bad mood. You're the same sort as her, but at least you can be reasoned with. You shouldn't underestimate me. I just like seeing Burn grimace. That's why I've taken a liking to this game of yours. If you think I'm easy to handle, you're apt to get burned, okay? Humph. Lander can't use her red longsword because the detective proclamation hasn't been made. If Erica makes it, she'll regain her power right away, right? Yes. When that happens, forgive me. Erica. What? Make the detective proclamation. No. Do you really think you can beat me as I am now without the detective's authority? I can win. Lord Battler, Lady Erica is herself a piece. She cannot disobey her master's orders. All she can do is gather the power she has and fight for survival. And then your power can't be used at all without the detective proclamation. I need permission before unsheathing the red key. One form of that permission is the detective proclamation. Are there any other ways of getting that permission? What are you saying? If you're doing this out of pity for me, that's none of your business. Quiet. You're so flimsy by yourself that it's boring. Be quiet, detective who isn't a detective. Gah. Red key is infinitely similar to the red truth. If and only if I'm given the truth, I am permitted to draw my sword for items that pertain to it. What do you mean by truth? For example, there are Lady Erica's packing tape seals. Ah, those. Lady Burkestel has already acknowledged that those seals are equivalent in value to the red truth. Therefore, I am permitted to draw the red key, at least for truths pertaining to those seals. Those caused me a lot of trouble last time, so I had all the sticky packing tape removed from the game board this time around. A splendid move. Erica was proud to be able to call herself the detective, wasn't she? Yes. Though her only goal was to irresponsibly solve riddles, it was a matter of pride for her. Then she must really be suffering now that she can't make that proclamation. Only she could tell you that. Battler took a deep breath, then hung his head in thought for a time. Erica was his enemy, but she was the player on the human side, and without her, there would be no game. It had been the same with the old Beato. Battler had one-sidedly viewed Beato as an enemy. However, though Beato had thought of him as her opponent, she hadn't considered him an enemy on a personal level. In accordance with the rules, I must fight my rival ruthlessly. However, that doesn't mean I need to hate Erica herself. I won't misunderstand Beato's game. Erica, you're free to choose not to make a detective proclamation. In that case, go and fight just with your power as a human. I've been prepared to do that from the start. However, you have talented allies. Lanner, Gertrude, and Cornelia. You aren't alone. You have allies. Yeah, but they're unreliable, powerless, and useless scum. Lanner. Just like how I was supported by Virgilia and Renove in the past, Erica needs support as well. I know from repeated experience that playing for the human side is tough. Yes, I will assist her with all the power I possess. Understood. Know that it is our job. Humph. You can't even use the red truth. Erica. I'll give power, not to you, but to your allies. Huh? What do you think you're doing? I'd rather die than receive your pity. 3 people. Lanner, Gertrude, and Cornelia. Erica. I'll let you use 3 rooms worth of those packing tape seals. To fully seal one room, multiple seals would be needed to cover all the doors and windows. If he had said 3 seals, it would only have been possible to fully seal one room at best. So Battler was generous and limited them by room instead of by a seal. Lord Battler. As the Game Master, I also acknowledge that these seals have the same effect as the Red Troop. This way, you'll also be able to wield that red longsword and fight against surrounding those, right? Yes, but are you certain? Winning against Erica when she's less than a detective is hardly a victory. If Erica's upping the stakes, then I should have the right to do the same. Phew, what a man! Aren't you lucky, Erica? Now you can use a bit of red without making the detective proclamation and irritating your master. You'll regret this. I'll use these 3 seals and kill you, no matter what. Perfect. Come to kill me. Gah. Ugh. Though it was only for 3 rooms, it was a red truth that Erica desperately wanted. Now she finally had enough leeway to fight as she pleased. She ground her teeth at being pitied by Battler, but her tears were not those of shame. Understood. 3 rooms worth of packing tape seals accepted. Regarding this matter, should we consider them as being accepted retroactively? Back when Lady Erica received the non-sticking packing tape from me, Mrs. Kumasawa. You want a smoothie? What kind of smoothie? What was last time that had a smoothie? I think from McDonald's. Like a pineapple. I think so. Erica had borrowed packing tape from Kumasawa to make seals with. However, Battler had made it so that those weren't sticky. If you rolled that there had never been any problem with the stickiness of that packing tape, the transition could be made smoothly. Banana mango or something? That'd be good. Sure, that's fine. I'll rewrite the tale. Packing tape that Erica received from Kumasawa-san late at night on the first day was sticky. But there was only enough left to use on 3 rooms. I'll apply that from here on out. Understood. Lady Erica will also retroactively adjust her movements, starting before the discovery of the first twilight, and taking into account that the application of this privilege is now possible. As soon as these changes affect the progression of the game, they'll be reported to the Game Master. Letting you do it retroactively, even though you know which rooms the crimes will occur in. That gives you a pretty big advantage. You won't have to waste tape on other rooms. It seems you've grown quite arrogant since becoming Game Master. Isn't it fun to give out charity to your pathetic opponents? Quiet. Don't misunderstand. Not being arrogant or soft here. Erica, use this weapon and come at me with all you've got. Then I'll crush you with all I've got. So hold your head up high and use those 3. That is all. Battler made to leave the room with the flick of his cape. As he did, he thought he heard Erica let out a strained voice calling him to a stop. I imagine she'll use the parlor, the one where Battler's in, and probably the one with Kirie. What is it? If you have no business with me, I'm going. Make sure you talk with Lanner. Don't listen to those obnoxious witches, whatever they tell you. As long as I'm on this game board, I won't let them do whatever they please. Thank you. Ooh. Thank you. I'll fight with all I've got. I'll come at you with all my strength, so I'll defeat you no matter what. So, if you do win against me, please crush me with all your strength. Please, don't leave a scrap behind. Understood. And don't you go easy on me. This is the final game. I'm playing to prove to Beato that I've reached the truth. By now, who wins and who loses doesn't affect that goal. So, I just want to accept you as a rival and settle this. In the game, let's suspect each other over everything as enemies. But as fellow players, let's trust each other. That's how this game is supposed to be played. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Ooh. Battler melted into the darkness, became a cloud of gold butterflies, and vanished. Erica remained behind, sobbing. Ooh. Just... kidding. What? Oh. Jeez, you're a dim, stupid man. You totally fell for it and gave me the tape. I, Furuto Erica, have packing tape. It was hard to imagine that the person who had been sobbing pathetically and this person now were the same. That's how vile her face contorted to be. The two witches were also cackling with ugly smiles. I totally understand. When you become Game Master, it feels like you become God and you get all sure of yourself. It was the same for you, Lambda. Of course, you'd lose after leaving a stupid mistake like walking corpses alone. Stupid Game Masters, stupid mistakes, stupid pride, stupid losses, stupid battlers, stupid everything. Giggle, 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 giggle. Stupid losses, stupid battlers, stupid everything. Ha 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 ha, has a nice ring to it. Nice one, my master. Giggle, giggle. Stupid battler, stupid everything, stupid battler, stupid everything. That stupid battler really thinks Erica's at a disadvantage, then I really pity him. Detective Proclamation isn't what you need to kill a moron. Death by following a piece of tofu. It'd have to be soft tofu, too. Add some gochujang chili paste and you've got a snack that'd go great with some wine. Giggle, giggle, giggle. The three giggled together. It had all been an act to get the packing tape for the seals from Battler. Even though the packing tape that had tormented him so much in the last game was unusable in this one, he had fallen for Erica's act. And she had gotten what she wanted, though just 3 rooms worth. The illusion that Erica had an overwhelming disadvantage was just an act. A trap to trick Battler and make him hand over the packing tape. With this, I can kill Battler perfectly. I figured out those pathetic closed rooms long ago. Perfect closed room? Dumbass. I'll show you a real perfect closed room. And I could almost cry for joy at the fact that you gave me the weapon that'll finish you. My master, Lady Lambda Delta, thank you so much for going along with this act. It was fun. No need to thank me. Plus, it wasn't an act. Giggle, giggle. Mercastel said something that was probably disturbing, but in her good mood, Erica didn't care a bit. That pudding for brains moron, thinking he's done something so noble. I'll make you regret it. Hehehehehe. Alright, let's use these seals at our leisure. You did great too, Leonard. It seems that Battler trusts you, so he believed every word you said. Don't tell me your conscience is hurting, you little murder doll. No. Lana looked at Erica in a slightly lonely way. Then, after shaking her head slightly, her gaze turned hard, and she looked at the darkness Battler had disappeared into. You should have known that this was a no-holds-barred fight. How foolish, Lord Battler. This is, without a doubt, the result of your pride. Mr. Battler, this will be fatal. Oh boy. Ah, good job, Erica. So far, so good, Fur. Yeah, all the lovers clearly possess a strong will. This is a victory for love that we shall extol. Everyone had gotten used to these two overdramatic demons. George spoke quietly with an annoyed expression. We'll only extol that after we've passed your trial and someone has been given the miracle of magic. I agree. We've all passed the first trial. What's next? I won't hold back anymore. I'll do whatever it takes. Yes, we won't lose. We won't lose either. Yeah. And of course, the same goes for Batlacoon's group. Of course, I doubt anyone here is so naive that they hope to win by having the others forfeit. Right. Anyone weak enough to drop out would have no right to be here right now. Even Beato seemed to be the shakiest one of the six, most strongly determined. The two demons nodded at each other, taking note of the six's continued resolve. So, what's the next trial? Don't tell me you still haven't decided. Well, we thought at least some of you would drop out. We didn't think you'd all remain. What a happy miraculous miscalculation due to love. Shut up. So, are we going to play musical chairs or something to make sure someone drops out? Yes, precisely that. We've decided to have this trial eliminate one group no matter what. This trial is the second twilight of the epitaph. Tear apart the two who are close. Ha 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 ha. I don't get it. Separ-sama, Fur-sama. What sort of trial is this? Do you mean we're going to kill each other? That'd settle things quickly. Though it's not exactly civilized. Love is for carnivores. I guess we can't all just find happiness together, can we? This is what they call a zero-sum game. It's an economic word, but maybe you've heard of it? No, my apologies. Zero-sum game. It's where victory and losses are all cancel out to end up with zero. In order for someone to win, someone else must be forced to lose. It's the ruthless way of this world. If only everyone could be happy. There's no way an ideal world like that could exist. No, there is. That is the Golden Land. The Golden Land? What are you talking about? That's right. If you reach the Golden Land, all love will be satisfied. However, like heaven and hell, that's not a place in this world. I wouldn't want that. Love has meaning because we find it in this world. I could never support a sad lover's double suicide, where they're only united after death. I'll stick to my love in life. I won't lose to anyone. George-san. The door to the Golden Land can be opened by solving the epitaph's riddle. In that place, love and lives are all whole and can be revived, but... we're straying from the point. Let's hear about the second trial now. This is... oh, okay. Right. What are you trying to make us do with the tear apart the two who are close thing? Okay. It's quite simple. The only possible way to tear apart two lovers is by the sad farewell of death. The second trial involves killing one of the six. Of course, any lover with their partner killed is disqualified. In short, one group of lovers must fail during this trial. You say kill so easily. What exactly are we supposed to do? You can just fight to the death, or you can decide by a lottery or some sort. Like hell we choose by drawing lots. Let's have a fair and square duel. Though if we do that, I imagine that Batlacoon, the Game Master, and Beatrice, who was the Golden Witch even though her memory is gone, will have a substantial advantage. Well, I wonder about that. Don't worry. For this trial, we have made everyone's powers equal. Even the Game Master, Lord Battler, is taking this trial on an even footing with everyone else. In that case, it's fair. Is it completely and purely on an even footing? Yes, it's perfectly even. In a one-on-one matchup, victory would be decided by luck. It's perfectly even, so it'll probably take some time before it's settled. So, is the trick to attack when you're in a superior position, I wonder? Duels that take time are, of course, wonderful. Why would anyone leave it up to luck? Of course we want to fight in a situation to our advantage. In that case, a three-way struggle? Won't that mean we're stuck? Beto was the first to notice. If the six were truly on an even footing, and both willing and capable of winning, one pair would have to concentrate their attacks on a single person. If that happened, then the pair containing the target would, of course, band together and assist. In other words, it would never be 2 against 1. It would become 2 against 2 in a matter of luck. However, at that time, any third pair who happened to be watching this could team up with whichever pair they liked, with no risk to themselves, defeating the opposing pair with certainty. Third party sounds troublesome. Means that moving first is disadvantageous. If you step forward and fight, it's a matter of luck. If you sit and wait for the others to start fighting, it's certain victory. Fight would never begin in this situation. Maybe we could just have everyone fight the person next to them one-on-one? Then as soon as one fight is settled, the trial will be over. Unless everyone could abandon any naive hopes for a 2-on-1 fight, this trial would never begin and never end. In that case, if they made a gentleman's agreement and had everyone duel at once, it would be no different from drawing lots, but it would at least be even. That won't work. If we do that, everyone will just defend instead of fighting proactively. All they need to do is wait for someone to lose before they do. Shannon's point was a sound one. Both fighters just glared at each other without attacking, then neither would lose. All they had to do was wait for someone other than themselves to lose first. This brought them back to the starting point. No one would fight proactively. In the end, no one will move, and nothing will be resolved. Since there's this arithmetical situation where we all have the same strength, it's almost like a puzzle. True, it would have been an interesting duel if our strengths were unknown. However, since we've been told that we're perfectly even, this duel is no different than rock, paper, scissors. In that case, why not use rock, paper, scissors to decide it? Are you crazy? I'm not gonna do that. Even if someone does lose, there's no way they'd accept their loss. If they don't accept it, then they will be attacked by the 4 winners. In the world where all are equal, the losers will have no chance of surviving. True. Well now. Is rock, paper, scissors is actually the most reasonable way to settle this. It's extremely reasonable. However, if you ask me whether I'd be reckless enough to entrust my fate to a random number generator, the answer is no. Please, do consider that problem. This is the second trial we have for you. Think and fight to the death. Please decide whom the sacrifice will be. Well, your first problem is playing rock, paper, scissors when you should be playing rock, machete, bazooka, nuke. Amateurs. That's okay. 222? 222. Still the first day. Well, I'm tired. I'm gonna go to sleep. So, yeah, we'll continue this tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow. I don't know. Spoiler, I always choose the bazooka nuke. You always win. Lately, when I've been playing rock, paper, scissors, it's always ended up in a draw. It's over, bye. I don't know, I shouldn't play this when I'm tired. My eyes are like it's hard to keep my eyes open, so It's fine. But, it's like long-winded draws. I don't know. I don't know why it happens, but it's fun. But yeah, I'm enjoying episode 6. I don't know if I like the theme of it. The whole love theme, but that's fine. Guess we'll see. I feel like they're gonna pull the carpet under. Because where's Nanjo? And where's... I feel like... I don't know. Is it Kenzo? Spattler Kenzo? What's going on? Yeah, it's fun. I just want answers. But we still have 2 more episodes, so... It's not like we're gonna get all of them immediately. It's fine. Anyways, thanks for tuning in. Catch you all later. Yeah, I don't know if I'm streaming tomorrow. We'll see. Or, I mean, I say tomorrow, but I mean Saturday. Because, yeah. But if anything, Sunday, for sure. Anyways, thanks for tuning in. Catch you all later. Have a good one. Bye!